Discovery, go and throttle up.
Yeah, wait, does this work? Wait a minute. What? I don't understand. Huh. Hello. Welcome to the Space and Rocket Review. Now 30 minutes later than usual. Uh, the, the, I don't know what I did. Yeah, this is, it's working. I, I, uh, I don't really understand why it's working, but it is. So, hey, no, I am not going to touch nothing. But
Discovery,
I
go and
do
throttle up.
need, I need to check something. It, it's working. It's working. All right. Well, does the guitar do something? Hold on. Uh, Give me one sec. So, all right. I, I just, now I'm just genuinely curious. I'm gonna play with house money here. Can we? All right. All right. So I'm gonna mute the mic for one sec. Yes. Hey, all right. That's working too. A little funky, but it's working. All right. Hold on. Let me see something. Phasers are set to stun. Yeah, all right. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. All right. 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 I know there's double audio. That makes that work. All right. Hold on. Hold.
Go and throttle up.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. That works. Dudes, I don't really know what happened. It just started working. I was over here getting ready to configure the blue snowball again, ready to go. And it's just like, nope, nope, I connected now. We're good. I don't really have an answer for that one. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna, yeah. It's heritage. Yeah, that's heritage. That's what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right, that works. All right, sweet. We can pipe music in. The whole setup's working end to end, guys. That was it. That was the last bit. I don't know what's making it work. I'm not touching nothing. I wanna walk on you. All right. So, It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Why is your PC having issues now? EJ spread the disease to you. Someone spread the disease to me, man. Looks like the Vulcan launch and Ariane 6 are launching at the same time. Vulcan time is now 8:37. Oh. Okay. All right. Well, I am equipped to double box. We are equipped to double box. That is a thing. Blame Ernock? Yeah. We can do that. All right, here. Let me just try what muted this yesterday. Hold on. Now it should be back, and it should be back, and I should be fading in and out. I should be fading in and out. In and out. I should be fading in and out. Oh, all right. It's all work. I have no idea what fixed that. I was literally, or actually not touching my computer, and I looked over at the sound menu, and it was like, line in from Behringer mixer, unplugged. And I just looked over, and it was just like, oh, it's ready. It just ticked over right when I hit the live button. I don't know. Blame Dan down at Starbase? Well, Dan would fix it. Dan would fix it. Boca Chica Beach is now closed for Ship 37 testing. It looks like the Pope vent is on. I'm wondering if the crossfade works now. Now, see, like, I probably shouldn't do this. We should probably not gamble, but we have the snowball to back it up just in case. So, all right. Left ear. Your left ear loves this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, your left ear is just really happy with this. Right ear. Oh, yeah, look at that. It works. All right. I'm over here. Now I'm over here. All right, cool. Please stop that. No, I'm good. No, I'll keep doing it, Yard. All right, cool. All right. Why not partner with Zydax? Because I don't know who that is, and I can't partner with somebody I don't know. Your ears are inverted. Uh-oh. Huh. All right. Well, that's all working, and I'm not going to question it. If it goes out, we have the blue snowball as a backup. We still have our... hello? Why is the behind-the-scenes camera not working now? Seriously, the BTS cam isn't working. Does Popper Cam work? Popper Cam works. Why doesn't the BTS camera work, man? It's plugged in. Why? Why you no do this? What? Man. I don't understand. No. You don't understand. You don't understand. All right. Okay. Or, that. Whatever. I guess the behind the scenes camera just doesn't work. Haven't changed anything since yesterday, but hey, whatever. Okay. Did you take off the lens cap? It's a webcam.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
It is a web camera. Just hit it. It'll be fine. Oh, no. Okay. Well, that's all working. What do I do? What do we do here? What would you say you do here? You know, let's start with Terranar update. Starbase Live. Sometimes you rant. Seems like I haven't done this in a little while. Gotta get back. I gotta get good at it. Shuttle video. It's brand new. Saving $30 billion. Tell me more. You got the mixer back, so lots of BTS isn't bad. That's right. That's right. Okay, well, all right. Let's jump in. Let's do this. Relativity has a new update video. We can't listen to the audio, so we're just going to have to Terran our update. July. Space 2025. Barrel segments, domes and barrel segments, some white thing. CDR components. CDR stands for Critical Design Review, guys. Critical Design Review is basically the final exam for all these parts. Once something passes CDR, it's basically, yeah, ready to go. It's 351 thrust structure fluid. 351 thrust structure fluid components. Okay. Mated panels on the thrust structure assembly. That's this thing right here. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there you go. They're putting it together. Nice factory. Fellas, this is the former C-17 factory. If you notice, the runs between the supports is pretty much the wingspan of a C-17. Not pretty much, it is, because they made C-17s in here. They stopped making C-17s in 2017, and shortly after that, Relativity got it. Preparing for circumferential welds on the Stage 1 tank. Welded stringers. Welded stringers? Okay. Completing mechanical assembly of Stage 1 barrels. Okay. These are all the components. Because, I mean, guys, it's kind of like KSP, where you just stack tanks on top of each other. That's what they do, but they do it with barrel segments. Do you think Relativity will one-up Boeing by releasing a render of a pentagon or maybe even a hexagon? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, you could see the hangar doors where they would roll C-17s out right here. That was the line for the C-17s. They seem to have built offices in there. Climate-controlled offices. Pretty cool. Turbo pumps. Very nice. Nice. Nice! Cool. Graham, I saw what you said. Give me one moment. How big is Terranar going to be? Just a little bit bigger than Falcon 9, Trey. Tested on YouTube, posted an RS-25 video. Disliked it because they went into no detail. Isn't that Adam Savage? All right, whatever. Look at the wire harness. Yeah, okay, all right, okay. Nice! This is the installed Aeon V second stage vacuum engine. So Aeon vacuum. Okay, that's Relativity's test stands at Stennis. Upgrading piping and electrical on-stage testing infrastructure. That's the A1. That's the A1 test stand. It was the test stand where NASA used to test S4Bs, if I'm remembering correctly. Actually, that's super cool. I wish they'd still use it to do that, but you know. Yeah, see, you can see this. The old stage test was the old stage Saturn V stage testing cell was right here. They would just stack the stage right there and then send it. Man, they're really redoing that. Look all down there.
Discovery, go at throttle
Hey,
up.
Big C, 39-month resub. I could beat it at 55 before you. Thank you very much. You should repaint that NASA logo. They won't. They're not NASA. Fueling and testing infrastructure. Look at this, man. I mean, I'm pumped to see them redoing a test stand, but also, you know, NASA, it'd be cool if NASA did that. Hey, Anthony, what's going on, buddy? Oh, so I'm actually wrong. That wasn't an S4B test stand. That was an S2 test stand. So Saturn V second stages, not third stages. You can tell because of the way it is. And then they ruined it. I mean, converted it for space shuttle engine testing. Yeah. You know, they just basically stacked a permanent hydrogen and oxygen tank up there and made it so you could test shuttle engines. Hey, Paul, welcome back. Thanks, man. Yeah, you're back. I'm here, dudes. I'm here. Yeah. Cool. Like I said, I wish they were still like doing that. That part's pretty neat. S2 test facilities, man. That's them building it. Relativity as the begin structural acceptance testing of first flight hardware. Yes, that is a tube. That is the tube that goes to the engines. That is a blurred out tube. Nice welds. Nice welds. Begin horizontal integration facility and launch mount. So this is LC-16, Launch Complex 16, which was the launch site of Terran 1. The Terran 1 launch pad was right here. And the Terran 1 horizontal integration facility was right there. And then right after that, after a pretty dang successful launch of Terran 1, it made it to staging, but the second stage didn't work. They decided to build a rocket like 2 times as big. At least 3 times as big. So this is the Terran R facility over here. And then the pad is over there somewhere. That's the test stands at Stennis. That's the factory. There's another test stand at Stennis. That's the A2 test stand. Yeah, it's not A1. A1 is still NASA's. Hey, EJ, do you think Blue Origin? Sometimes, man. It depends. He goes like, hey, I know that pad. Nice. All right. Steady progress of flight hardware from Relativity. They're still a little ways out from a launch, though, dudes. But just by looking at what I saw, but they are making progress, which is good. That's what we want to see. The test stands look so epic because they're old and sturdy. Ammo, and that test stand was designed to hold 5 meganewtons of thrust. You could put a Starship on that thing. It'd be fine. It'd be okay. It's probably over-engineered, knowing the Apollo engineers. This sucker right here. Yeah, I bet you could put a Starship on this thing. It would probably be fine. I mean, look at the beef, dude. That thing is chunky. It is a chunky test stand. I mean, these guys, I don't know if you guys know, like these stands these stands were designed for full duration burns. So during the Apollo program, at Stennis they built three big test stands. Okay, there's the A1, there's the A2, and then there's B1, B2 test stand. Okay, so A1 and A2, A1 is third stage, A2 is second stage. Right, the B1, B2 test cell is both of those are designed for first stage. So the A1 is third stage, A2 is second stage, B1 and B2 are first stage, right? The B2 test stand is a twin cell test stand. There's two of them. There's twin test stands. So there's B1 and B2. That's the B testing site. That makes it, that makes it so you could test two S1Cs at the same time. Now, I want to point out that the reason why these test stands are so dang chunky is because they are designed for full duration burns. They're a full duration burn test stand. So you could do a full duration burn on an S4B. You could do a full duration burn on an S2. You could do a full duration burn on an S1C. Think about that for a second. 7.5 million pounds of thrust, 2 minute 30-second duration burn. That's pretty damn good. It's a pretty good test stand. These test stands were beefy. They built them beefy on purpose to basically do static fires of every stage before it went down to Florida to go fly during the Apollo program. Where did NASA static fire the LR-87? The LR-87? Probably Colorado, if I had to guess. I mean, the flame buckets and stuff in here are no joke. They were no joke. Like, once again, like, you look right at their designed. I mean, that's 5 meganewtons of thrust, man. That's a lot of thrust for an upper stage. The only upper stage I think that makes more thrust than that is Starship. If I'm thinking about this correctly, Starship has 6 engines at 2,400 kilonewtons. Yeah, it makes 3 times as much thrust. But yeah, it should work. I just still wish we were doing that. That's the more and more I think about it, that's pretty good. But anyway, good solid progress from Relativity. I'm happy that they're updating us. I'm happy that they're showing it. It's actually pretty dang cool. Speaking of other commercial providers, check this out. We got an update from Stoke. Manufacturing for their Nova rocket is in full swing. Upgraded Zenith engine complete. Andromeda's base heat shield is wrapped, and stage 2 structural testing commences. Progress everywhere you look. So that's not a Scarecrow. That's their upgraded Zenith engine. That's the first stage engine for their Nova rocket. And that is the upgraded second stage engine for their Nova rocket. That's an Andromeda engine. Yes, that is an engine. Yes, it looks like a heat shield. It's because it's reusable. The entire second stage for Stoke's Nova rocket is reusable. And what they did was the second stage engine uses cold propellants, and they make the propellants go through the heat shield. It's a regeneratively cooled heat shield. Did you get the Electron update? I have plenty of stuff to start, John. Vulcan just got pushed again, 57 minutes. Okay. Do you think Blue will land their next rocket? I hope so. Yeah, so it's a heat shield and an engine kind of combined, with the heat shield being a heat exchanger to stage your commodities, which is pretty cool. That's pretty neat, man. And then if you guys notice, their second stage, it's kind of capsule shaped. The Andromeda engine would be down here where this yellow ring is. Ish ring. It'd be down here. And then the payload fairing is up here. The whole second stage is designed to look like a capsule because it's designed to come back down like a capsule. It's orange. Sure. I said it and I'm like, nah, it's not yellow. Whatever. It's fine. Pretty cool, huh? So, Okay, a lot of you guys are asking me about Newglen's, right? So check this out. NSF did a little bit of a flyover and they caught something rolling down the road. That looks like an engine section. It's a cylinder. It's a cylinder, chat. No, that is a aft module for GS1, New Glenn Stage 1. That's the second one we've seen. The first one is the first one ate too many Krabby Patties. Your picks are better. Blah, 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 blah. All right, let me go find yours. Let me go find. Oh, yeah, there we go. Nissan Titan. Morning, evening. How's the motherboard? Well, it's working, meat. I really hope they stick to the current design of New Glenn and just make it bigger. It's a pretty big rocket by itself, man. This no doubt is moving out, probably moving to the Complex 36. For testing, if I had to guess. It doesn't have any engines in it. It's probably an empty shell right now. You could tell because this thing doesn't look, it's chunky, but it's not like super chunky, which means this thing is not too heavy. Then again, your boy could be wrong. There might be motors in there, but I highly doubt it. Tonight we have 3 launches and a Starship test. No, we have 2 turntables and a microphone. What are you, dumb? What are you, dumb or something? So, that's where it's at, dude. So speaking of that, Max was doing flyover pictures and he caught that. So this is down at the Cape, guys. This is my buddy Maxivans. Maxivans. No engines in it? Yeah, that's what I thought. So this is the Roberts Road site. They were, what's actually delayed the second NG launch so much? Hellfish, I firmly, okay, I can't prove it. I can't prove it. I'm probably wrong. Okay? This is just from an outsider looking in with some relative knowledge about how space programs work. I think that, I know they named the first New Glenn stage, so you're saying there's a chance. I know they named it. I think they fully expected to land that thing, and them not having it is what's screwing them up. I think that really screwed up their schedule pretty badly. Yeah. I think they very, very, very much wanted to get that first stage back. Think about it, dude. They had all the breakover devices in place. Everything's ready to go, right? They had all the equipment end-to-end processing from, launch all the way to recovery done. That thing had full landing gear in it. It had everything in it. They entirely expected to get that first stage back. So they did the wrong thing by not having contingencies in place. That's kind of easy to say in hindsight, dude, to be honest with you. Vulcan is now 856. It's moved past Ariane, okay? I really think they wanted to get that stage back, and I think that's what's screwing them up, to be 100% honest with you. Dan, you have a friend of yours that was pretty confident it was going to work and bummed that it didn't. Guys, like, I'm not trying to talk bad against Blue. I like Blue, really do. They're pretty awesome. They've been launching new Shepards pretty much to the tune of once a month, which is pretty dang cool. It's impressive. You know, I'm not gonna say that it's not, but also at the same time, you know, why? Why did you think you were gonna get one of these things? It was lost during the entry burn, guys. Something went wrong during the entry burn. I don't know why you would Hellfish, like I don't know why you'd work your mission architecture like that. I would I think the way that ULA did it with Vulcan was a lot better idea. The Vulcan booster that they used to test wasn't the one that did the first launch. They did all the testing with Vulcan, and then they had a second one in the pipe. And the second Vulcan ever produced was the one that flew the first Vulcan mission, right? The Peregrine, right? And the test article for Vulcan was brought back, and based off of what they learned from the flight data from the second Vulcan, they took the first Vulcan and they retooled it, and it's due to launch something. It'll launch something. I don't know. It might be the SF-106 core. Who knows? I don't know why you'd have such a kind of linear progression with stages, but once again, I think what's screwing them up is that they entirely expected that thing to be back. They entirely expected to get it back. I don't know why you would do that on the first flight of a brand new rocket with end-to-end systems like that. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why you were like absolutely sure. Now, I would say this, and I did say this at the time. I think that if Blue made it through subsonic, so if the New Glenn stage made it over the landing platform, right, it absolutely would have landed. There's no doubt in my mind. Blue has a lot of experience with doing that. What they don't have experience in is doing entry burns, and that's exactly where it failed. Like, once again, I'm not trying to be like that guy that points out the obvious here, but well, it failed in the one part of the testing regime you have no experience, or the one part of the flight regime you have no experience in. Blue has plenty of experience landing stages. They'll nail that part. There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, which is once again, like with such a big unknown, I'm not entirely sure why you'd want to do that, but who knows? They also laid off a bunch of people. That is not going to improve the timelines. Blue did not get their first new Shepard back on the first try. No, the first one exploded. Yeah, the first one rammed into the ground like a cluster munition. They never streamed it, though. Do you think they'll scrap Booster 12? Yeah, Smile, of course. Nothing is sacred with SpaceX, dude. They'll scrap whatever. They scrap... What the heck just fell? They scrapped it. I don't know what that is. They scrapped SN-15, dude. They scrapped something with flight heritage. Why? Yeah, nothing is sacred, dude. Booster 12 almost certainly isn't being scrapped. I didn't say it was, Cape. I didn't say it was. I said I wouldn't be surprised. Nothing is sacred. They'll scrap it if they need room. Like I said, I'm still astonished that they scrapped SN-15. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, really? That's the one that flew. That's the one that flew and landed. You got that one back in one piece. You're gonna scrap it? Car falling off the jacks? Well, let's see. Let's see if this works, Geese. I don't think I have OBS up on the other computer, so that's not gonna work. No, they won't. It wouldn't have gone on a work stand if they wanted to. They would have just scrapped it on the transport stand. Huh? Well, that would be great if they didn't, dude. But I've kind of like mentally prepped myself that if yeah, nothing is sacred. Just, you know, if they're taking up space, get rid of it. Flight heritage? Who cares? Like, that's very much like where I'm at, you know? Like, they're just gonna dump it if they don't If they need to, just get rid of it. All right. Anyway, check this out. So, speaking of Starship, my buddy Max took these pictures, and he took these pictures of SpaceX's Roberts Road area. This is down the Cape, guys. Check that out. Tower segments. That's a Starship tower. Which means SpaceX has already started stacking tower segments for wherever this tower is going to go. There are quote-unquote, well, and keep in mind, this is very tentative, I guess. There are 3 possibles for this thing to be in. Someone found the magic beans. Nice. There are 3 possibles. This could be the catch tower at 39A, or it could be one of the launch towers at Slick 37. 37's tentative plans have 2 launch pads. 39's tentative plans have a catch tower that's just south of the launch tower. They're really doing the catch tower. John, that's what the plan said, man. Dude, nothing is sacred with SpaceX. Like I just said, they've even gone against their own dang plans in the past, man. That should be the base section. I would think that they would make the base section first. You know? You're hearing it's for 37. Wow. That's fast, man. Now, speaking of this, Max has other pictures. Check this out, dudes. This is a picture of the 39A HIF. You see something? Guys, I've always said that the 39A pad is going to come together a lot faster than that pad at Boca Chica, right? This is the other pad. The other pad's going to go faster. Why? The other pad is a copy of that pad. Meaning the one at 39A is a copy of pad 2 or pad B at Boca Chica. I just call them this and that pad. So this pad is pad A at Boca Chica. That pad is pad B at Boca Chica. And the other pad is the one that's at 39A at the Cape. So this is for the other pad. But the other pad is a copy of that pad over there at Boca Chica. Because it's a copy and not like a new design, they should be able to make it faster. And you can already see the flame buckets being installed on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and guess if you compared the time where they really started big construction on 39A to the time where the flame deflectors are getting put in, right? To the time when they started working on that pad at Boca Chica and the time that the flame diverters got put in, I'll bet you the one for 39A for the other pad is very, very short. It's much shorter. They're able to go faster because the design and how to build the pad has already been implemented. Hey, Everest 3613 sub. Why are they building skate ramps? That is a flame bucket for the pad at 39A. Do you think they will display Booster 12 with Ship 20? That'd be cool. Are the catch towers the same height as the regular towers? I think so, yeah. Couldn't they have just put a catch tower in the plans for the option to have catch towers if needed? Like the 35 engine super heavy we haven't seen? I don't know, maybe. Do we call LC39A1 and LC39A2? I don't know what to call it, Ator. I'm just going to call it Complex 39, and that is just going to basically entail a bunch of pads. Skate park near the VAB. Yeah, man, they got 2 quarter pipes there. You could skate that. You could skate that. Sure. Not enough vert, though. So, yeah, these pictures are coming from my buddy Max over at NSF. Of course. Here, there you go. They're coming from Max over at NSF from their Cape flybys that NSF does. It's pretty awesome, man. That's the same thing. Now, check this out. Speaking of operations down at the Cape, we saw Relativity retooling LC-16. We know Stoke is retooling LC-14. SpaceX is working at Pad 37, or Complex 37A and B. SpaceX is also working at 39. And we have the Artemis II SLS sitting inside of the VAB. The last piece that the Artemis II stack needs is the Orion capsule. And check this out. This is coming from NASA Kennedy from yesterday. The Orion capsule for the Artemis II mission moved out of what's called the MPPF, Multi-Payload Processing Facility. It's basically a nice way of saying a gas station for spacecraft. It's where they do fueling tests, or not fueling tests. It's where they fill it up with gas. Now, the propellants that Orion uses are not cryogenic or anything. They can sit inside of the capsule for a long period of time. That's why they put them in spacecraft, because they could just stay. The propellants stay propellants. They don't boil off like LOX or hydrogen, liquid hydrogen or liquid methane or something. So they can fuel it, even though the mission is sometime in the future. Right now, all the NASA official accounts are saying that Artemis II is scheduled for quote unquote early 2026, whatever that means. It's pretty cool. The next thing that Orion needs here is the LAS, the Launch Abort System. And that is the last bit of kit that capsule needs before you can bring it over to stack it inside of the VAB. There was a red moon in Spain. Oh, that's cool. Lunas Rojos. Lunas Rojos. Orion uses hypergalls, William, NTO and MMH. Its service modules derived from the European ATV. And its service module propulsion system, or SPS, is a shuttle OMS engine. It's an AJ-10-190. All hypergalls. Hoping to go down to Florida with your partner for Artemis II, sneaking up on you fast. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. General Cape question. What exactly defines a launch complex? I know they're very clear shaped areas visible from above, but why are they so large? Because if it blows up, you don't want to be near it, Daytown. Were they intended with multiple launch pads for the start? It depends on the complex, dude. There's no real succinct naming convention for launch complexes. So, I'll give you an example. At Missile Row, there's 4 Atlas pads, or there was 4 Atlas pads. There's 11, 12, 13, and 14. All these were built for testing SM-65 Atlas missiles, and then Atlas D and Atlas E. And then one of them, we decided instead of putting a dummy payload or a nuke on top of, or a nuclear test payload, we put a capsule that's shaped like a nuke with a person sitting inside it and launched it. That's John Glenn, LC-14. Pretty cool, right? So, those pads, you could call that all one complex, but it's not. It's 11, 12, 13, and 14. Now, just south of that was an Atlas Centaur launch complex. It's now Complex 36. But before Blue got the lease for Complex 36, it was Slick 36A and B. There were 2 Atlas Centaur launch pads built there in a twin pad complex. And they were called Slick 36A and B. Space Launch Complex 36A, Space Launch Complex 36B. Those, by the naming convention from Missile Row, those should be 2 different launch complexes. But they're not. Now, usually, sometimes, a launch complex, like if you look at Complex 37, 37A and 37B, the reason why it was built as one launch complex and why you have Pad A and Pad B is because it has one tank farm that feeds 2 pads, like what's at Boca Chica, right? Same idea. That's how Slick 37 was designed. And that's an AB complex, right? Slick 36A and B are not. And keep in mind, Slick 36A and B don't exist anymore. Where it's all now. Blue got the contract for Slick 36A and B and LC-11, bulldozed all 3 of them, and made them into one launch complex. And they did not call it Slick 36. They did not call it LC-11. They didn't call it Slick 36A or B. They call it LC-36. In fact, Blue gets annoyed when you call it Slick 36. If you call it that, they want it to be LC-36, whatever that means. Is there any reason for their specific shapes? It's really around the fueling paraphernalia, dude. It's around the tank farms. The tank farms denote the shape. Tank farms for every single rocket are always different. Now, the other interesting thing is, you have Complex 39, which is NASA's facility, right? You have 39A and 39B. 39A and 39B should, by other naming nomenclatures, like with Slick 36 and Slick 37, they should have one tank farm feeding two pads, but they don't. They have two tank farms feeding two pads. So 39A and 39B have their own fueling complexes. And that's what denotes that weird hexagonal shape of the pad, because they wanted to keep the fuel farm away from the pad as much as possible, because if it blows up, you don't want the fuel farm blowing up with it. That was their idea. The reason why, if you look at Complex 39A and Complex 39B, the reason why they're so far away from each other is if the Saturn V exploded, it wouldn't blow up the other pad. In fact, the perimeters around the complexes, if we look, someone wants to buy LC-19. Can't say who, all right? We go down to the Cape here. Hey, Cheeseburger, what's up? So see this perimeter around the pad, detail? So it's got this kind of peculiar shape because of the tank farms, right? So hydrogen, oxygen, right? And I know what you're going to say. Well, if hydrogen and oxygen are there, what about all this stuff? Well, it used to be because the Saturn V used RP1 kerosene. So it used kerosene in the first stage and hydrogen in the second and third stages, right? There used to be another tank farm. So that's why it has this kind of different shape. That's why it has this weird shape. And now there's all the peripheral systems like pneumatics, which are over here, and then HVAC systems, which are over here. See the condensers right there? You got to keep the thing cool when it's on the pad or it'll melt. Fun fact. There's also retention ponds and percolation ponds. They don't use the percolation ponds anymore. They did during the Apollo program. But yeah, this perimeter right here, Daytal, is called a BDA. Blast Detonation Area. Notice how all the fueling paraphernalia and past fueling paraphernalia and anything that's important is on the perimeter of the blast detonation area. It's not just a clever name. It's not just a clever name. And the reason why 39A and B are so far apart from each other is because the blast detonation area is just the area around the pad that would get completely eradicated if a Saturn V had a problem on one of the pads. Yeah, they're far away from each other because if one went, you would lose the whole pad. The whole pad's going bye-bye. And then some. So they made two of them in redundancy in case the Saturn V blew up on one or didn't work or rutted on one. That's what denoted that design. Now, if you look at other rockets, like I was talking about a complex, see, these are old pictures. That's the former complex 36A and B right there. That's LC-11. That's LC-12, 13, 14, right? And then I always forget the naming nomenclature out here. I think it's 16, 18, 19, and 20, I think. I think that's how that works. And then there's LC-34 right here. LC-34 was where they tested the Saturn I. There's 37, which was a Delta IV pad, and before that, it was a twin Apollo Saturn 1B pad. You could see the two pads right there and right there. So when something bad happens, it's BDA boom.
Oh,
boom.
this is space. I'm in space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so different pads, different designs. There's no naming convention there's no unifying naming convention for naming the launch pads, and the shapes are kind of just how they designed it. It depends. Like these were designed for the Saturn V. These ones down here were designed for Titan, specifically Titan 3, 2AS, Titan 3C, Titan 3 Centaur, Titan 3 Transstage, and then later Titan 4. That's why they have this particular design, the circle, because they needed a mobile service tower in that design, an MST. You could see where for Complex 40, There's a big patch of paved area right here. And then 41, there's the same patch of paved area right there, because that's where a huge servicing tower would go and basically hug Titan rockets for vertically integrating payloads. Yep. Now, it's interesting. Complex 40 and Complex 41 should technically be part of the same launch pad complex, but they're not. It should be 40A and 40B, but it's, you know, if we went by some unifying naming convention, but the Air Force has a different pad naming convention than NASA does. So it's Space Launch Complex 40 and Space Launch Complex 41. Despite back in the day, 40 and 41 launching these same exact rockets that were integrated in these same exact buildings and built in the same exact assembly building. Yep. There used to be one VAB down here. Now, it's long gone, which sucks, but if you guys look down here, this whole complex, 40, 41, the two integration buildings that are in line, and then down here, formed a complex called the ITL, Integrate, Transfer, and Launch. There was a 4-bay VAB right here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they would build Titan missiles here, or they would assemble Titan, not missiles, they would assemble Titan rockets, and they would use diesel locomotives and a mobile launcher to move them. You had 4 MLs, and they dragged the ML down here, integrate solid rocket motors into the vehicle if they needed to, keep going. That's the solid rocket motor assembly facility. This is the solid rocket motor integration facility, right? Keep going, and then the rails split. They could go to the right to pad 40, which there's the mobile. Here, let me shut off 3D buildings. There's the old Titan servicing tower right there, or you could go left to 41. It seems like 41 was converted for Atlas before, yep. It was converted to Atlas 5 before 40 was still launching Titans. For naming starships in Florida, I say call them 37A and 37-1. It's this pad, that pad, the other pad, and those other pads. Okay. So yeah, Daytal, there's really no naming convention, and it really kind of depends on the rocket that was designed to launch there. That's the big one. So, guys, hopefully a little bit later tonight, we have 3 rocket launches on the manifest here. Check this out. We got this pad, that pad, and the other pad, but what pad will be at Vandenberg? Who cares? That's what I'm going to call it. Who cares? So we have Ariane 6-2, the METOP SG-A1 sat, which I don't know too much about, but that's scheduled at 8:37, right? And then we have Vulcan VC-4S SF-106, right? And Starlink 17-4 moved to tomorrow. So we have 2 rocket launches. Yes, 2. That's what I said from right at the beginning. And we have Slick 37 as well. Big boss, glad to have you back. Hello, Baron. We got 2.5 launches. So Vulcan was supposed to go at 8, and now it's Yeah, it was supposed to go at 8, and now it was moved to 8:37. And now it's moved to 8:56. That's the SF-106 mission. We do have some video of them rolling it out. SF-106 is a Space Force payload. I don't know what it means, but it's got a pretty cool patch. music here or anything? Nope, we're good. This is moving out of the vertical integration facility, the VIF, at Complex 41, which is what we were just talking about. And we got more pictures. There's high pressure gaseous helium in here. Just want to steer clear, okay? And you can tell there's high pressure gaseous helium in here because of the way it is, right? So there they are, moving it down the same tracks that they originally used for Titan, right? They're moving Vulcan, which I still think is Atlas 6. But this is a VC4 configuration, guys. So Vulcan Centaur 4. If you notice, well, you can see 3, but there's 4 SRBs on this. This, you know, if it decides to go, this will be the first flight of a 4 SRM configuration for Vulcan, if I'm remembering right. There was Cert 2 and then there was Peregrine. Yeah, those were all VC2. Sweet. If this thing goes, it's going, and it's going fast. It's going to get off the pad real quick. Real quick, and I mean real fast. It's pretty quick. If you guys want to see, like, you know, people look at the attachable SRBs and you're like, oh, it's just little attachable SRBs. How about this picture of Torrey Bruno standing at the bottom of the rocket on the servicing gantries? Want to see how big those GEM 63XLs are. They are not tiny. That is not a small solid rocket motor. That's pretty damn big, actually. Which one is Pad Thai? I think that's in Thailand. Why not Falcon Super Heavy with 4 boosters? You'd have to redesign the entire strongback and transporter erector structure, Ator. Why do that when you just could have Starship, which, if you're going to redesign an entire launch complex, just redesign it for a vehicle that's gigantic. Yeah, Torrey Bruno also has other pictures. Yeah, see? There you go. Cowboy hard hat, Torrey Bruno. I mean, B4s are no small engine either, but those GEM 63s are quite large. Now, I've been out of commish for a little while, but if we do go back, look, you could see that you could see the ULA putting it together inside of the VIF. This is VIF-G is what they're calling it. The Vehicle Integration Facility for Government Payloads. VIF-A is that building down there. The Vehicle Integration Facility for Amazon and Commercial Payloads is that. That is the former solid rocket motor assembly facility for the Titan ITL Causeway. It's been unused for, well, 20 years now? Shoot, 20 years. And I remember when they decommissioned that damn thing. But ULA renamed it from the Solid Rocket Motor Integration Facility. Actually, it was a Solid Rocket Motor Assembly Facility. It's called the SMARF. They renamed it to the Spacecraft Processing and Operations Center. They renamed it the SPOC. So the SPOC will launch Vulcan. Hey, it works. It works. It's a little weird to say that way, but a little weird to say it that way, but it works. Bless you. I have an itch. My foot still itches like crazy where I stepped on a freaking bee's nest. Stingers, man. It itches all the damn time. Did you know that the Hurricane Condor in Porta Ventura fits inside Starship, but just barely? All right, that's good to know, dude. You gonna play Battlefield 6 with us this weekend? I want to. It looks good. I'll admit. Wait, Baron, does Friday count as the weekend? I'll play. Okay, second part of that. Can my computer handle this? I had a bad experience once with frying equipment. Doesn't it require Windows 11? God, I hope not. Yes, hired, I am. I'll play BF6 on Friday. Sure. It requires secure boot. Well, I got a nice pair of boots in my house. They're steel toes, so they're pretty secure. Or was that not what you're talking about? They got a nice set of boots. Just saying, they're Carhartts. They're pretty good. Not sponsored. Why are you like this? Why are you like this, man? What do you mean? Oh, Ernock. Yeah, I see what you just sent. I see what you just sent. I have a Corsair Mini Tower PC if you want it. It has a 3080 in it. Hey, RJ, I'm not accepting more gifts from you, dude. You've given enough. You single-handedly funded the damn Coronet, dude. Don't worry about it. Guys, I'm telling you, I have the cash. It's just the freaking money's hung up with the accountant, which I don't want to talk about right now, you know? But you did get that thing I sent you. Yeah. You have a new PC. No. No. Hang on one second, guys. I don't know what secure boot is, but I'm sure I'll look into requirements, dude. I would love to play it with you guys if you really wanted to. I played a lot of Battlefield back in the day. It would be fun. And Battlefield 6 looks like... It looks like... Dude, you know, it's kind of one of those things. You know, like if you look at like Kerbal 2, all Kerbal 2 had to be was just Kerbal 1 with better graphics. Just Kerbal 1 with better graphics and a little bit of a better simulation, it would have been fine. You could make the exact same game with better graphics and people would have bought that, right? Cities 2. All you had to do was make Cities 1 with better graphics and you could make a bigger city. That's it. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. People would buy that. It seems like DICE has gotten that memo. You know what I mean? Battlefield 6 very much looks like an old Battlefield. It looks like 2 or Battlefield Vietnam or Battlefield Bad Company. It very much looks like those. It looks like it plays like those games as well. Like I said, I'm pretty sure DICE got the memo. Just make Battlefield 3 with better graphics. People will buy it. People will buy it. That is how desperate we are to play a game that doesn't suck. You know? One more follow-up question. So I mostly understood LC39A and B are shaped the way that they are, but why are they elongated and not entirely symmetrical? The pad complex is entirely symmetrical, Daytao. It's just the way the crawlerway and the way the dredging and terrain kind of all came together. Did you answer my question? I don't know. As I'm getting back into the groove, man. I don't see any questions. What is your favorite class to play as? I played a lot of medic back in the Battlefield 2 days, and it's going to sound really weird, but I tooled on a lot of people with that L85. Yeah. I would just go around just zapping people. I would just zap people and I would revive them for 2 reasons. 1, people suck and they kept dying. Okay. 2, if you revive someone And it's the BF6 seems to have this game mechanic. If you revive someone, it doesn't count as a kill, so they don't lose tickets. 3, I would revive them and use them as cannon fodder and basically ghost them. Not ghost. What the heck was the slang term for that? Bait. I would use them as bait. I would revive people and they'd go to take the point and I'd bait the trash out of them. They would run in, get killed. I'd know exactly where the person is, shoot them, kill them, revive them, and take the point. Hey, man, I always top fragged in Battlefield. I had the most kills, most points, most revived. Dude, I won strike at Karkan games like single-handedly by myself, dude. Just revive that guy, revive that guy. Oh, thanks, man. That's awesome. I'm gonna run out in the street. Gets wrecked. Oh, he's up there in the building. Pop, 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 pop. Get revived. Okay, keep going. I'm not kidding. That's what happened. That's what I do, dude. I racked so many points in that game. Just bait people so hard, dude. Oh my god, that was fun, man. That was a good time. Evil, I like it. You know Delta Force? No. They still need to bring back Karkan. Yep. BF2 as a sniper, a heli gunner. Oh, Mutter. I did heli piloting, dude. Yo, if we play, we'll get in the slick, and we'll just, or the gunship, or the Black Hawk, or whatever's in it, and we'll. That was my thing. I liked transporting people to points, dude. The other thing that I would do, and keep in mind this was in Battlefield Vietnam, I'd get the Huey slick full of people, get the helicopter, the transport helicopter, like full of people, and just fly over to a point, hover over it for a second, instantly take it because it's a bunch of people on the slick, and then just fly away. Don't sit there. Just get in there, suppress fire, suppress the crap out of everybody because no one's gonna shoot at you if you just. You have a bunch of guys with M60s sitting off the side of the helicopters, and then the guy with the freaking M60 on the gun mount with like basically unlimited ammo. You just suppress everybody, stay there for like 15 seconds, take the point and leave, and then a bunch of people start spawning on it. Dude, I was a pretty nasty Battlefield player, man. Yeah, I know, Fall. Yeah. Try Delta Force. Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Are we doing triple MSC this week? I am promising nothing this week, dude. I got into a very nasty habit of promising things and not doing them. So I will just forego any of that right now. Let's just play it by ear. I don't want to promise nothing, guys. I have a lot to make up for already. That's a good tactic, kind of like how a chopper would actually fly in real life. Yeah. The other thing is me and one of my moderators, Big D, we would and keep in mind Big D, I'd known Big D since before I was streaming. I haven't seen him in forever though. He's all right. Hope everything's good. Now I'm worried about anybody that hasn't been on the stream in a little while since, you know. Anyway, so what we would do is we'd play like Gulf of Oman or something, right? And we'd get in the Huey Cobra, right? And he would sit in the pilot, right? And we'd sit like behind the aircraft carrier or something, right? Or behind a hill, and basically do what an Apache does basically in real life. We'd sit behind a hill like far away from the action, right? Pop up for a second. Somebody that was commander in BF2 would highlight like a helicopter or a tank. I'd launch the TV missile. He'd go back down behind the hill, and I'd just find the tank and kill it. Which, I mean, if anybody out there flies attack helicopters, yeah, that's basically the idea. You just snipe people with TV guided missiles. That is very much what that was designed to do. So, yeah, that's what we do. Mutter, I got so nasty with that TV missile, I was pegging other planes out of the sky. Like a plane would be, the Sukhoi 34 would be flying around. I'd hit that thing dead center with the TV missile. I got to call the cheater all the time back in the day. But then again, for every time I got accused of it, I'd accuse somebody else of it. But, you know how it is. There was a red moon today in Spain. You told me that, Aitor, in the YouTube chat like 15 minutes ago. I know. That's cool, man. You like jets. Is this the thing you've been trying to get me to see? Yeah, I've seen this clip already, dude.
Discovery,
But here,
go
I
and
will
throttle
watch
up.
it on stream. Just for you. I mean, like I said, this looks real good, man. Oh. Oris Nihon. Right, hang on, I'm going to mute the audio. Hey, All Systems, 94-month resub. So All Systems, right after I had that conversation with you, I have the sound thing open in Windows, and right after I said that, I'm like, all right, do it. The thing just turned on, and now it works. So, no music, just vibes. All right. If I get this claims me, Baron, I'm kicking you in the junk in Minecraft. F-16. Whoa, yeah, this completely unrealistic, but I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not supposed to be. Wires. Okay, that's not a thing, apparently. I didn't see that part before. Get wrecked, nerd. So, are we just gonna ignore the fact that the guy flew, like, through some wires right here, and that absolutely would have killed you? Now, I suppose you could make the argument that maybe he missed it, but that, I'm pretty sure that would have gotten the left wing. The left wing would have got, like, right there. But, then again, collidable wires really don't make the game very fun. What game is that? That's Battlefield 6, man. He definitely did not miss those wires. Yeah, for sure. In order to check for secure boot, boss, run msinfo 32. Go to system summary, scroll down to see secure boot state. Secure boot state is unsupported. You're hoping for a RUD today, Yank Mom? I don't think so, man. I think scrubs before RUDs. It's probably off in the BIOS. I think you need Windows 11 for BF6. 10 can do it. Please don't break the computer. I ain't trying to do nothing like that. The BIOS is American Megatrends Incorporated 1.0. I forget what motherboard is in that damn computer. If it was off in the BIOS, it would just say off. Oh, alright, never mind. No, it's a BIOS setting. I guess you need it for Battlefield, Maslam. I don't know. We'll look into it. So guys, if you want to know what I got up to today before I started Space News, just on a quick detour, we were doing, Ernog and I were doing that. The valve cover gaskets were leaking on this big block, so we took them off, cleaned the surfaces. But yeah, that's the state of the valve train for you car nerds out there. That's Blueface's valve train. It's fine. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. I'm a BIOS setting arse hat. Yeah, I'd say everything here is nice and healthy. There's no scum, no nothing, no residue, nothing. It's just, it looks brand new. Secure boot requires a TPM chip. Well, I could go down to the store. They got a great chip selection.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Trusted platform module. Oh. Good to see you back. Thanks, Kinder. Good to be back. Yeah, the valve train's really good, guys. The valve covers were a little crusty, but they were in good condition. If you guys care, I painted them. They were that Ford corporate gray that they painted everything from like the early 80s to the late 90s. But, you know, I had some extra paint lying around. So I had some, like I said, I had some extra paint lying around, and I haven't seen it yet in Oswald, but people have told me about it. 8700K in his gaming ring has TPM built in. Yeah. It's this is pretty good for like a, you know, one-day paint job, you know. Yeah, look at the inside of this thing, dude. Brand new. Yeah, painted Ford blue to go faster. And then, you know, we needed a nice breather, so we got a nice Mr. Gasket. Mr. Gasket breather. Here we go. So you can breathe good. See? This thing is gonna look real nice. OLM is active. I know, I see it. Yeah, t-shirt blue. That's right. That's right. Now you can see that there's some spots that I kind of screwed up, but like if you look at the glare, see the runs. But you know, it's fine. It's a 20-footer. Okay, from 20 feet or from through the internet, this looks awesome. You know, it looks great. So, yeah, that's what we're working on. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Where's the gasket go? That's right, it goes in the square hole. Yep. In order to enable secured boot, you need to reinstall Windows 10 from scratch. Perseus says, I'm pretty sure you were wrong. I'm going to go over the logo in white paint. Ford never did that from the factory, John. So I kind of wanted it to look like a factory big block from the 70s. See, Kraken, how you doing, buddy? Off topic, but what is this? Okay. Okay. Scott Manley got a rook ride. I saw that. I saw him flashing the horns. Didn't you paint your valve cover the same color in MSC? I think so, yeah. 20 foot is a good one. Yeah, yeah. That works. Doing good, moved into your new apartment. Nice. I mean, I don't hate it. I mean, that works. Uh, no, I'm kind of okay with it. Anyway, Charles, what's up? If NSF were to acquire an Optimus from Tesla, what do you think Elon would want to launch? Do you think that Elon will want to launch and deploy it on the first Mars-bound ship for documenting cameras? I'm pretty sure SpaceX has a whole team for that, Charles, but that would be cool. Why is an X-Wing painted in Imperial colors? I know, right? That's weird. Best camouflage for Hob. You guys are stupid. They'll be looking for Ami, guys. Good to see you back on and smiling. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I'm good. I paint targets on the wings. Yeah, I know. It's so strange. Okay. What else do we got? RGV Aerial has some update pictures of Pad B. Or, oh, no, excuse me. That pad. That pad at Boca Chica. And, it is progressing quite quickly, actually. Coming from RGB. What's that? Oh. Yeah. That's the staging point. Okay. Okay. I've been a little bit out of the loop. That wasn't there last week. That wasn't there. There was just dirt there, you know? I was asking what you think Elon would charge NSF to launch and deploy Optimus. I don't know. I have no idea, Charles. You wouldn't even be able to begin reasonably extrapolating that price. It would be expensive, though. When do you think they'll start stacking Ship 39? Heitor, give me till the end of the week. I'm probably not the right guy to ask. I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm out of the loop, man. I've been doing normie stuff for like the past week and a half. Dude, last week after the whole thing went down with the motherboard, I didn't even go in the shop. I didn't even work on cars. I did nothing. So I'm way out of the loop. I did nothing, let alone like check in on space, to be honest with you. I just, needed some time, dude. I was doing normie stuff. I even got my golf clubs out. It's weird, man. Looks like they got a good majority of those arms installed. Golf, waste of a good walk. Tessa, be real. You don't do either of those things. Stop lying to these people. You don't do either of those. Why are you talking stuff? You don't do either of those things. Stop lying to these people. I mean, yeah, man, I can't swim. I know I can't. You know what I do? I keep my big butt out the pool. You know? You can't signal, you can't turn, you can't parallel park. Honey, you can't drive. Yeah, man, I can't swim. I know I can't. So you know what I do? I keep my butt out the pool. Sometimes you just need a little time and no bees. Really, Aitor? You too? You too? Just catching strays here, man. What? Stop crying. Stop crying. Stop crying. Just go around again. What's the staging area for? So it kind of looks like it's out in front of the chopsticks in this picture, but then this picture, it's right underneath. So that means like this part of the sticks where they would pick it up is right over this right here. I'll be honest with you, Sea Kraken. I am not 100% sure why your staging area needs to be that freaking beefy. Guys, I don't know. I don't know why it needs to be that hardcore. That is an extremely lattice dense slab. Like, we're talking. Well, I was about to say we're talking being able, like, it could survive an atomic blast, which is basically what's going on in this area over here. So, right here and right there are not far away from each other. So, oh, all right, never mind. I just answered my own question. Don't mind me. I'll just be over there. Are they catching there? I mean, mutter they could. They've only caught over the pad in the past, but they've caught, like, if the pad is right here, right, and these are the chopstick arms, right, they've had like one open one time. The flights that I saw, they had one arm open that way and then the one arm open the other way. So like one arm was in position and one arm closed on the other one. And then they did the reverse of that. That was Flight 7. They did the reverse of that with Flight 8. Flight 8 kind of came in from the southeast. And Flight 7 kind of came in from the northeast, if that makes any sense, dude. So I don't know if I've never seen them catch at a crazy angle off the sticks like that. I don't know for sure. The embeds are for stands. Yeah, no doubt, Vanta, right? Yeah. I believe the ship is supposed to roll from the static fire pad to the pad on the crab stand. And so that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to, yeah, if you're testing a ship, right, and the ship's going to go right from Massey's to the pad, yeah, you'd use the Massey's stand here, which explains why the 4 outboard postmarks are different from these 2 sets of 2. The sets of 2 are on a tighter radius, I guess, if I'm looking at that right. It's to put a stand down so when the booster lands, they can get rid of it. Put a stand down so when a booster lands, they can get rid of it for a Starship. Possible, yeah. And Block 3 carrying heavy payloads. Yeah, see how this one is kind of, these are inset? This one is much closer to the edges than these ones are. So yeah, whatever, I mean, you're going to do a lot of staging right here. Interesting. I mean, dude, that's about as dense lattice as you can get. So what are we looking at here? So these plates, you guys were calling them standoffs, I think. These plates are areas where something heavy is going to be standing. The reason why the plate's there is to disperse the point loads out, right? If you had something just directly sitting on top, right, like this, it's going to push down right here. But if it's on a plate like this, it's going to push down with a much larger surface area, right? This is getting into what's called statics in engineering. This spreads the point load out. But I will tell you this. We have you have 2, if you notice, there's two things of rebar in a lattice like this. 2 things of thick rebar in a lattice. Whatever this is, dude, or well, not whatever it is. The denser the lattice, the denser the metal is to each other, the stronger it's going to be. This right here, for the uninitiated, is called reinforced concrete. This is not finished yet. There's still dudes in there. You don't want to pour the concrete right now. But if you take steel beams and you make a steel lattice inside of concrete, you make reinforced concrete. And reinforced concrete is a lot stronger because the steel matrice holds the concrete in place. Concrete's already really good at compression load. This, at being able to be squished. Concrete can be squished, which is why you make like foundations out of it, because it can be squished. It's really, really good at taking compression. But this allows it to basically be strong in other ways as well, in other axes. So like compression loads, tensile loads, soil shifting. This thing, that pad, once they build that thing, it's not moving. It's not moving around. That is a very, very thick pad. I mean, you know it's thick because there's a dude literally standing underneath the rebar lattice there. That's really big. Cardiac, what's up, man? Off topic, but will you be trying to scan the sky for meteors tonight? No, not really. Should I be looking up? Gah, you mean NOS valve covers. Lost the receipts. Yep, new old stock. Yep, I lost the receipts. 18 gauge rebar. That's extremely thick. But it could move downwards. Well, not if it's shifting the loads out. So if the pad is wide enough, Hired, no, it won't. There's a reason why. So, Hired, think about like 39A and B. They're on like a pyramidal pad structure, right? There's a reason for that. That's to disperse the load. That's so it doesn't sink into the swamp. Yeah. Said you couldn't build a pad in a swamp, but I did it anyway. It fell into the swamp. So I built a second one. That fell into the swamp. So I built a third one, lad. That burnt down, fell over, then fell into the swamp. But the fourth one, lad, that stayed up. Oh, but Father, I don't want to do that. I'd rather sing. Oh, that reminds me. Do you want to move your desk back today? We can do that tomorrow, dude. Don't worry about that.
Oh,
This is space. Give this I'm in space. Zone. Right on. Just the way the Mayans and the Aztec launched their rockets. Nodders. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens. One day, son, all this will be yours. Yeah, with the curtains. No, not the curtains. You should look at the sky. Okay. We seem to have had a new tweet from Blorgen.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
What is Blorgen up to? We were just talking about them. Sean, what's up, man? Hope all is well. Keep being awesome, sir. Thank you. Thank you for bearing with me. Here, yeah. The amount of load that will carry. Takezo, that's what I was just saying, dude. Look at this. Goalie's telling me it's 18. That's 18 gauge double stranded rebar lattice. That, dude, not much is going to break that. Not much. And look, dude, there's definitely a guy standing down there. That means we're talking 1 to 2 meters thick. Okay. And now keep in mind, that guy might be crawling underneath there. If he is, he's crawling underneath. That's a meter thick block. 18 gauge double strand rebar lattice. That is not breaking. That nothing will break that, dude. You could like a Starship could do an SN9 and crash directly into this. It'll just blow up. The pad would just be like, whatever. Like, that's really strong. Not even your mama being transported on a transport stand could break that. Damn, chat. Happy you're back in the saddle. Does SpaceX own any land in the surrounding Boca Chica wetlands they could potentially expand into and build a catch tower? Yes. Yes, they do, Daveldod. I won't comment on it because I have no idea where it is. That is a question for Alex, dude, to be 100% honest with you. What gauge system is it using? That one. Now, if that is 18 gauge rebar, it's this right here. The nominal diameter is 2.2 inches, or in millimeters, 57.3 mil. The weight per foot is 20 pounds. The weight per kilo is 20 kilos per meter. Okay. That is a tremendous slab. I designed industrial machinery that weighs 40 to 120 tons, and I've never seen a slab reinforced like that. I've never seen two 18 gauge bars doubled up on each other like that, dude. That thing's a tank, man. You can hit that with a bunker buster, it'll bounce off, dude. It'll just Nothing. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Uncle X, and then I realized I knew nothing about rebar gauge. But now I do. Mint. That thing is very, very beefy. All right, what's Blue up to? Why do pounds and kilos only line up in like 2 spots? What do you want me to do with that question, John? Because 52 RPM. There you go. All right, cool, sweet. High performance Mars telecommunications orbiter from Blorgen. What do they got? I gotta mute it. I don't even want to take the chance. I'll do it. Dun 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 dun. Blue Origins Mars telecommunications orbiter MTO will provide NASA with high-speed, low-cost telecommunications relay network. By 2028, I forgot the A. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Read faster. No. The orbiter builds upon our Mars Next Generation Relay and Mars... Damn it! The orbiter builds up upon our Mars Next Generation Relay and Mars Sample Return Architecture commercial proposals. Unlike chemical systems, MTO is built on Blue Ring's high-performance hybrid propulsion system. So there's electric propulsion there. See the ion thrusters? It's not a twin ion engine. It's a triple ion engine. Hello, how are you?
Discovery,
I'm
going
good,
throttle
Andrea.
up.
How are you? Yeah, goalie, that's thick. This greatly expands Mars launch windows, reducing mission risk. That explains why they wanted the Escapade mission. A try-on, if you will. I like that. It's good. Roll out solar arrays. It also delivers large communication systems the ability to operate in a higher orbit altitude. Yeah, it still can be called a TIE fighter. That's right, yes. MTO features multiple links for fast and robust coverage. Look at us probe Mars with antennas. A continuous communications link to Earth is the heart of the MTO. And there's more. MTO is a complete infrastructure hub. It can also provide data storage, edge computing, and AI applications. With superior mobility, MTO deploys ultra-high frequency relay satellites before transferring to its orbit. Your words, not mine. As part of the MTO architecture, these relays support legacy systems. Legacy systems? Like my computer! Yeah! Legacy systems, dog! Alright. Reducing relay complexity and cost. MTO maneuvers to high-altitude orbit and continues communications to Earth. For a Mars sample return and all future surface orbital and human exploration missions. No, my car is heritage. Spoiled. Blue Origin is ready to help NASA develop Mars. Yeah, we should send like a bunch of those. We should just put a bunch of those and then dress them up like beavers, and then we could launch all of them to Mars, and they'll build a dam, and then we'll get water. Blue Origin edging was not on your bingo card. Yeah. Gross. All right. Someone give this man a job. So it looks like they're going to deploy relay satellites that work with heritage systems. So I think when they speak heritage systems about Mars, I think they're talking about the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, meaning this thing can interface with pre-existing satellites that are already out orbiting Mars, like MAVEN and MRO. MAVEN is NASA's other orbiter that's moving around Mars. And then with their relay satellites, they can relay to the MTO, and the MTO can serve basically as a high-powered dish to shoot communications back to Earth. Now, why would Blue offer this kind of capability? They want that. They want NASA's Mars sample return contract, guys. They want it. That's why they're doing it. The hybrid is just a marketing buzzword. They've got both chemical and electric propulsion. That's all. Yeah, I know. That's why I pointed it out, dude. Yeah, that's why I read it. I don't know if you noticed. I read it. I said hybrid propulsion system, huh? No, they got 3 electric motors there. You know, like, yeah, no, it's hybrid because it has 2 different types of engines on it. Is Vulcan still on for tonight? Motorkit, it's delayed. Propellant load on ship should start in like 30 minutes, maybe a little sooner. Right. I see it up there. You've been playing too much Timberborn. Yeah. Why have an MSR mission when humans will arrive at almost the same time? That's a, you know what, Spoiled? That's a very good question. You want to know what I always said was the best way to do a Mars sample return? Get a person there with a shovel. Why? Why is that easier? Well, that's easier. Hey, Urban, thanks for the raid. What's going on, man? Why would that be easier? Well, that would be easier because, okay, if you want to get Mars sample return, right? You have to build an MAV. You have to build a Mars ascent vehicle. You have to build something that can go down to the surface of Mars and come back up already. Like, come back up in one piece or 2. It doesn't really matter. It has to be able to go down there and come back up, right? That's exactly what you would need if you were building something to send someone there. So if you're going, right, like, so say you have a Martian descent vehicle and the descent vehicle has an ascent vehicle attached to it, like the Apollo lander. Like, let's say you want to do that. You already basically need to move an entire launch site and descent module down there, and that has to have enough delta V to be able to at least get back up into Mars orbit. You would be doing that anyway if you were sending people. The big problem with the Mars sample return mission with NASA and why they axed it is because NASA doesn't have anything to send 20 tons down to the surface of Mars. You can't do it. You can't do that with their current architecture. The biggest thing that they can put down there, that the Sky Crane lander that launched Curiosity and Perseverance can put down there, is basically Curiosity and Perseverance. You're not going to get much bigger than that. And Curiosity, don't get me wrong, Curiosity and Perseverance are no joke. Those are big rovers. They're about the size of a Mini. They're huge. But that is, even then, that's an inadequate mass for building something to basically SSTO back up to, or even building a 2-stage vehicle to get back up out into low Mars orbit, right? That's their problem. So that's why I always said, you know what the best way to do it? Send a guy with a shovel. Because if you're going to send a guy there, if you're trying to send people to the surface of Mars, is basically the same requirements as doing a sample return mission. And if you're trying to do a sample return mission, you might as well human rate it. On top of it, it's already going to be complicated anyway. Right? I've always said that just, dude, send a guy with a shovel. We did lunar sample return. You want to know how we did it? We sent a guy with a shovel. And a golf club, but that's another story. You can't decontaminate a human like you can a rover to get all the possibility of Earth contamination out of possible Mars biosigns. Oh, okay, so we'll just sit here and keep thinking about ways about how to do it instead of actually going and doing it. Good call. Good call, man. Yeah, no, your idea is great. NASA's, but you should work for NASA. They need people like you. no. Now that we have the sample sealed, we can go. Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm like, oh, what the hell, man? What are you talking about? We've talked about this, man. We sent 2 guys with shovels 6 times. That's right, Hokey, we did. Where does the sample go? That's right, it goes in the lem hole. That's right. A human could see a lot better sample a few feet away from the spot a robot picks it up. Picks out, that would be better. Yeah, dude, just go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if that's what you're saying. Dude, so Curiosity and Perseverance Perseverance has been pooping out sealed samples with no contamination. Dude, just instead of trying to design a robot that's going to go over there and try and scoop that thing out of the ground, dude, just send a guy with a shovel. Shovel, take the sample, throw it in there. Done. Put it back in the MAV that you already would have had to have made. Just saying. Who are you calling a lem hole? Sorry, yeah, it should be family friendly, shouldn't I? How about launch hole? You dang launch hole. Could a cannon fire a sample holding around into orbit, less gravity than Earth? Yeah, but you'd need a cannon that has enough characteristic energy to be able to accelerate to orbital velocity, not taking into account the perturbations from the atmosphere on Mars. Mars has some atmosphere. It does have 1/3 the gravity, but there is some atmosphere, so you're going to get some compression heating. So now you need a thermal protection system on your ascent system in that case, Bill. Now, I'm not saying that can't be done. Of course that can be done. What I'm saying is that if you're going to send a system that needs to land a gun with enough shells and power and a thermal protection system on your rounds to push something back up into space, you might as well just send a person in a landing in an ascent vehicle. We're talking the same amount of mass here at this point, right? Out of curiosity, did they reduce the mass of the golf club? It was a club head, actually, Sea Kraken. It was just the head of a golf club. Yeah. Alan Shepard took a golf club head in his personal effects, and that's how they got the mass down. He had somebody thread the shaft of the head of the club. I know, weird words, and he attached it to the, believe it or not, to the sample. They basically had a shovel, right? He took the shovel head off and attached the club head and played golf on the moon on Apollo 15. Yeah. He took the club head because the club head was good enough for personal effects. Yep. They had basically a pooper scooper, yeah. But it's a lunar scooper. Rocket Lab's idea is pretty solid, yeah. Rarest, but I still say that just sending a person there is a way to do it sustainably long terms. But yeah. Did he shoot par at least? I mean, goalie, you connect with that thing on the moon, you're gonna hit, never mind like a 400 or 500 yard drive. You're hitting like a 6,000 yard drive. I mean, lunar golf would be pretty cool. It would take a real long time to get to the hole, though. I mean, you would need like a par 4 would be like 6,000 yards. And there's no fairway. It's all sand trap. So you'd need one hell of a sand wedge. That was 14, yes, not 15. 15 was a different mission, sorry. I'm a little rusty. Could you drive a golf ball into orbit around the moon? No, not even close. The galaxy, here, hold on. I have to Google it. Low lunar orbit velocity.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Lance, 56-month resub. Last, please. What's up? Question for you nerds in your channel. I have a 17-11-700 at 2.5 gigahertz and getting back 0.8 gigahertz. Is your CPU going out? I don't know. Ask them. PFS1 ended up on a long-lasting orbit at 28 degrees inclination. It successfully completed this mission after 1.5 years. PFS2 was placed in an unstable orbit at an inclination at 11, lasted 35 days. Yeah, but what's the orbital velocity? All right, let's just do lunar orbital velocity. Sync period 29.53 days. Mean orbital velocity 1 kilometer a second. Yeah, no. 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 No, not even close. Yeah. One kilometer a second is 3,300 feet per second. That's so that's like 3 times as fast as like a rifle cartridge, like a 308. Yeah, that's not happening. You're not hitting a golf ball in the moon into orbit. No way. I mean, you need to, I mean, maybe Happy Gilmore could. Maybe. Did I miss Ship 37 testing? Negativo. Looky. Yeah, you maybe with the hip job. Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. What if I swung really hard, though? Hey, man, in golf, it's not about how hard you hit the ball. It's about how straight you hit the ball. Seriously. Ask anybody that plays golf. Anybody can crush the ball, but it's really difficult to crush that thing and make it go straight. Take it from me. I have a nasty slice. It's pretty bad. It's because I pull the club through, and I end up hitting a slice every time. Like, the contact velocity at my swing, though, is like... Is that a drone? The contact velocity at my swing, though, ball gets away pretty quickly, but I can't get the damn thing to go straight. Hear me out. Bomb Mars and send chunks back to Earth as meteors. Yeah, I don't think that's the best way to do that. You fixed your slice this summer. In other news, I have a pretty sweet hook now. Hey, but you don't have a slice anymore, dude. That's progress, baby. You know, you don't have a slice no more. Dude, actually, Thumpar, like 1 or 2 summers ago, I evened out the slice. What I was doing with the club is instead of putting my thumb directly on top of the club grip, I was putting it to the side, and I managed to actually iron out the slice and get the ball to go straight. When I got it to go straight, because I'm a tall dude, I could hit it about 300. If I really made good contact further than that, I'm no Happy Gilmore, but I can crank the ball because I'm a tall dude. If I ever got a full power shot to go with that damn slice, I also that's the other thing, Thumpar. I slowed down my backswing. I used to just go, you know, like you're wailing on it like a sledgehammer or something. And whenever I do that, I'd end up pulling through. So pulling through is when you, instead of having the club like this, right, guys, you have the club like this. And I did that because I kept my elbow up when I was playing baseball, because that's the way you hit a baseball, or cricket, whatever. I didn't play cricket, but so putting my thumb on the side and slowing down the backswing, I got it to go straight. But if I could ever hit it full power, man, and get that dang thing to go straight, I could crank that ball. But yeah. .65. It can go just... Yeah, okay, yeah, see, Thumpar, you know. Yep. EJ's Space and Golf Swing Review. You want to hop on some Wii Golf? What handicap are you? Ravens, I have not gone out and played 18 in... like, I've done it once in the past 5 years. It's not good. I just don't have the time, dude. I don't have the time to go play 18 every day. I'm always working. I like working. You know, I know that you guys are going to give me crap. Golf is really fun. It's really fun. I know, and people are going to say, oh, but it's so boring to watch. Well, you got to play it. If you play it, you understand why it's fun, because it's fun to play. And then, once you understand why it's fun to play, it's fun to watch the pros play, because you're like, damn, how do they do that? They're so damn good at this. This is fun to watch. That's how it happens. It's a recurring cycle that just pulls people in. It's like a tractor beam. Celio, you're just starting to make videos for your YouTube. Any tips for growing consistently? You want to grow consistently? You post consistently. Sounds like brainwashing. It might be. Yeah, that's possible. They're detanking, no testing. Why don't you just go home? Golf is hiking for people with money. Maybe that's why I don't golf much. I do like a good hike, though. Oh, crap. Am I poor? No. Oh. No, you guys take good care of me. You guys take good care. It was a joke. I'm serious, though. Golf is really fun. I'm not even kidding. I would love to, like, live stream golf to show you. It's fun. It's actually enjoyable. What game would it be, like, akin to? So, it's like Civ, all right? You get into this just kind of loop, like, you just want to do better, and you want to do better. And in golf, it's really easy to get behind par. Right? It's really easy to single bogey, double bogey, triple bogey a hole. And whenever you do that, you're going to want to play the next hole. Because you want to play the next hole, you want to do better because you want to get back to par, right? It's like playing Civ. Or Hearts. Like, just one more turn, dude. Just one more hole. Just one more hole, bro, please. That's why some dudes go out there and play 36 holes in one day. Like, I don't know. I still don't know how those guys do that, but hey, whatever. Yeah, and then blitz, that's it. That one shot. And then you there's like one hole out of the 18 where everything is perfect. You do everything right, and you get like you get par, or you get a birdie or something, and you're like, I am awesome at this sport, yes! And then you suck for the rest of the day. But that one ride from that one hole that you do go to, like, oh man, I did great today. They're like, oh, how'd you do? I'm like, oh, I missed par by like 40 shots, but I had one hole that I birdied, man, you know? Dude, I'm serious. It's just one more lane, bro. It's seriously that. Just one more hole, bro. Please. I'll get par, bro. Please. That triple bogey was just a fluke, bro. Please, just one more hole, bro. Please. I won't hit it into the bunker this time. Please. Dude, I'm serious. That's what golf, it's really fun. Get out there, get a couple of your buddies, and get a couple of beers, and it's a good time. It's really fun. Let me do it in front of the cart girl. Blitz, see, you've golfed. You know what I'm talking about. And yeah, and the best part is you can quote Happy Gilmore in Caddyshack all day. It's great. It's great. It's so much fun. Flame Trench live stream golf. Dark Crew, I am pretty sure that no one else at NSF plays golf. I'll ask them. No. 12, you're not being the ball. You're not being the ball, Danny. 4-man scrambles where it's at. Scramblers are fun, dude. Yeah, it's a good time. Is Vulcan still launching today? It pushed a little bit, bro, Handy, but yeah. Still tastes good. I think you're a fan of Ships and Navy. Opinion on this carnage. Is this, Uh, Baron, I'm not 100% sure. That's the picture of the Chinese Coast Guard and the PLN ship hitting each other, chasing the Philippine Sea ship, or the Philippine Coast Guard ship. I'm fairly confident that anybody that was in the foxhole on that Coast Guard
Discovery, go at
ship
throttle up.
is dead. So I don't want to show that on stream. I don't want to show that on stream. I don't like that at all. Ron, 9-month resub. Thank you. Yeah. Card girls rule. My guy. Just tap it in. I mean, the CCP said nobody died. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Sure. I'm just gonna sit here and be like, yep, okay, and we're gonna get back to looking at this, huh? On Starship News, try to find something sus in this picture. What's on your mind, Baron? So this is a Starbase surfer picture, just so we make sure we give credit where credit is due. What's wrong with this picture? Um, uh, yeah, you see that and that? I don't like that. Yeah, see these little guys? See that? See the edges right there? No good. That's bad. Zoom back a bit on the ship itself. Oh my god. That's kind of sus. Oh. Okay. If that tile fails, that person's in trouble. How does this pass QA? It's just dust, dude. It's just dust on the tiles. I just want to know how the person that drew that just knew how to draw that and didn't screw that up. Dibs on that tile. So, does that mean Starship does have an airlock? I'm just kidding. We knew that it did already, because HLS needs one. Duh. Of course it has an airlock. It's called the door. Yeah, just open the door in your spaceship next time. That's a good idea. Seriously though, this stuff right here, that's not great. The tiles need to be a smooth surface. All these little edges here, guys, are just an area for plasma to start getting angry. You want the plasma to flow over the thing, not get caught. These will cause turbulent hypersonic flow. And like I said, I don't think SpaceX doesn't know this. I'm pretty sure they do. Maybe if the tile team had more data, we, stop seeing that with the tiles. You know what I mean. Stop trying to use modern day sus memes. It's not sus, it's emogus. Yeah. You're being very Ohio right now. Not cooking for sure. I might say he's being very skibbity. Yeah. Scooby-Doo toilet, Idaho. Ritz crackers. Gotta get him with the Ritz. Ritzler. Right? France. Yep. France. I think I respect you less now. No, come on, buddy. Don't lie. Friends don't let friends lie to each other. You didn't respect me to begin with. Come on now. Come on, don't lie. Friends don't lie to friends. Rethinking your sub right now? No, you're not. Don't lie. Don't lie. Come on, why are you lying? Why are you always lying? Why you always lying? Yeah, Tape, that's fine. Don't call me out like that.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
See? Prominent. Thank you for the 5 subs. I appreciate you, man. Who let Sawyer in here? I don't know. Nuh-uh. This made me cringe, oh god. Good. I aim to disappoint you in all new and exciting ways. Didn't expect a Vine reference after the brain rot. I have to be more Sigma with my skibbity toilets. Is this about me not cleaning the toilet? Because I keep that thing pretty clean. You know, it's gross if you don't. Your next question is there more space news? And the answer is that I don't got anything else teed up, so if you guys want to talk about something with space, let me know. I am a little bit out of the loop, which is why I'm saying stuff
Discovery,
like toilet
go at throttle up.
on stream. Urban Venture, 74-month resub, no cap. No, I have a hat on. See, this is my cap, right? Here, look at this. This is cool. This is from Matt Dominic's time up on the space station. He's back down since.
What's it like to fly through space station? Let's put. One of the best parts is you don't have to hold the camera the whole time. You can just float. And that camera stays with you the whole time.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
What's it like to fly through space station? Let's put. One of the best parts is you don't have to hold the camera the whole time. You can just float. And that camera stays with you the whole time.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So it looks like, guys, honestly, okay, so serious note here for a second. It looks like they are detanking. They definitely are detanking. I'm not sure we're going to see any action with Ship 37 today. Is ESA launching soon? Their live time is in 15 minutes. Does that mean Ship 37's not coming on then? Yeah, I'm going to put that back up there, and I'll bring this down here. The city of Starbase plans to submit a Texas Enterprise Zone application for SpaceX projects, including the Starbase Gigabay Triple Jumbo project. Possible tax incentives to be offered to projects including the Starbase Gigabay Triple Jumbo project within the streets of Starbase will be discussed at the meeting. Okay. I am very interested in what that is, but we'll find out more later. We'll be covering Vulcan and Ariane 6. Yes. Rocket Lab, it's official. We've acquired GOST. Adding space-based missile defense, space protection, and space domain awareness sensors to our extensive portfolio launch spacecraft and now payloads, securing the critical technology needed for next-generation defense initiatives and U.S. national security missions. It's real. No. Starship Heavy is not. It's not going to happen. Stop trying to make it happen. It's not going to happen. We all need to agree not to fight, and even more in space. That would be nice, dude. Would be nice. Peter Beck has been on a roll buying up other aerospace companies. Yeah, he's doing it for a reason. Yeah, Golden Dome positioning. I mean, that seems to be speculative, but that seems to be why they're doing that. Golden Dome is a huge missile defense contract that the Department of Defense is rolling out. Now, guys, I'll be very, very clear on this. Do I like that we're spending, quite frankly, billions of dollars on missile defense systems? Could we spend it on something else? Yeah, that'd be nice. But also at the same time, that's billions of dollars into the commercial space industry, when you think about it. Because even if it goes to a legacy contractor, it's still the commercial space industry. That's still a drastic expansion of the amount of, I mean, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, market cap for like how much money gets spent on commercial space every year. Introducing something like Golden Dome is going to exacerbate that big time. And fellas, for commercial space, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, I'll straight up say it. That's not a bad thing. That'd be great. Now, I don't know. It's like, Chad, it's like what you're saying. It'd be nice if we just didn't do that and just spend money like going and exploring the moon and stuff, but it'd be nice. That'd be nice. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I have to say about that. I like not being radioactive dust in the wind. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. That, I'm not saying it's a bad thing either, John. Don't get confused. Like, it's not a bad thing. That's great for defense, right? And it's a lot of money going into commercial space. That's fine. For Golden Dome, you could basically do another Apollo program, if I'm understanding the prices correctly. But that's good too, I guess. Last pulse. What is that? What? I don't understand. I don't understand what's happening here. I'm not showing that link on stream. What is that? Did you buy Firefly stock? No. I probably should. Yeah, pretty much caveman, yeah. I'll check that out in a second, Baron. They IPO'd at 60, and it's down 10 points. I mean, hey, Sad, what's going on? Why did it dip? I don't understand. That's pretty normal. Is it, Hazanku? I'm not, dude. See, here's the thing. Okay, two things, all right? I'm not good at stocks. It's not that I've like lost a lot of money in the stock market. Every time we've done it, I've made some pretty decent money. But I don't know if that's normal or not. Second of all, I don't like playing stocks because I know the aerospace program really well. And I don't know, maybe being well researched would pay off. But as somebody that reports space news, I'm not like 100% sure that's like ethical. I choose business ethics. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, is that pretty normal, dude? That's okay. Aurora, what do you want me to see? Was wondering if I could get your input on this. Okay. I'm looking for your okay dumb question. There's a lot of links in here. Okay, dumb question. But can two space agencies on opposite sides of the world launch two rockets at the same time, or roughly one shortly after the other? Yeah, it happens all the time, dude. Yeah, Fluffy. I mean, I see people making jokes that, Americans don't have that. Yeah, well, what can I say? I like being contrarian. Got a mustache. I know. Can't keep a good man down, Bruce. Can ya? Can ya? You look at me while I'm talking to you, son. Oh, damn. Oh, that's cool, Baron. Neat. All right. What's this up head? Boop. 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 Reasons for ship 37D tank is one of the pipes that connects to the ship quick disconnect is leaking. I was wondering what that is, Zelio. Yeah, that's you know what, dude? That's definitely, if you look like right here and like right there. Yeah, that's definitely what's going on there. I was wondering what that vent was, but I didn't want to say anything. I saw that, I'm like, is that a vent we don't know about? But yeah, that's not great. Yeah, you probably should stop before it explodes. Yep. 5 minutes till road to space. All right, what's this up head? This is from payload.com. This is by Pam Melroy. Pam Melroy was NASA's deputy administrator under the last president. Like second in charge at NASA. Op-ed. NASA's new commercial low Earth orbit destination strategy will lose Mars and low Earth orbit to China. As a former space shuttle pilot and commander whose crews helped build the ISS, I'm appalled that NASA has reportedly changed its plans for future commercial space stations. As we prepare to celebrate 25 years of Americans continuously living in space in November, these changes will result in NASA giving up its continuous human presence in space after the ISS is deorbited. Was this tectonic shift in national space policy reviewed by others in the executive, or was it discussed with Congress? It was not, according to space officials I spoke with. It was not even discussed in NASA's internal governance councils. Acting Administrator Sean Duffy merely issued a directive to change the acquisition strategy for NASA's commercial follow-on to the ISS. This directive delays the final competition for services, states that there is no requirement for long-duration flights, requires only 4 crew members for 30-day stays. How many buckets could that fill? Well, I don't know. A lot. Good reference, Jim. The implications of this change are deeply detrimental to our hard-won national capability and our plans for Mars. The long game. Let me explain. I'll say by saying requirements are absolutely vital to get acquisitions right. In my experience, poor requirements definition and constant changes as new information comes to light is the major cause of overruns and schedule delays in acquisition. LEO and the low Earth orbit and the microgravity research and technology development we do are critical to get humans to Mars, where the flight alone will require 6 to 9 months of microgravity one way. That's correct. Medical community has said it needs data from 100 6 to 9 month human missions in microgravity conditions to feel confident that it is safe to send humans on this journey. Since most past space station missions have been under 6 months, there will be a significant shortfall of such flights at the end of the station's life. This is the reason for the long duration requirements for commercial stations. Short duration flights will not help NASA get to Mars. The bottom line. As if this were not serious enough, the cost implications are also staggering. Cargo and crew transportation are the biggest expenses to the space station. To maintain a continuous presence, NASA pays for 2 crewed flights each year at the cost of $300 to $400 million each, and 4 to 5 cargo flights at an upwards of $150 million. Gee, that's funny. That was the price per launch of the space shuttle. Weird. If the U.S. wants a permanent presence in space and the crew is rotating every 30 days, this would require 6 times the number of flights per year for crew and likely the same factor increase for cargo. It will hugely increase NASA's cost to conduct microgravity operations, while simultaneously reducing the value of the human biological and physical sciences research being performed. Where will that money come from? The answer is it won't. NASA is obfuscating the fact that sending 2 or 3 crews to LEO a year, the level that they can realistically afford, will result in month-long gaps in between missions. This one poorly considered change will dramatically decrease the cost-effectiveness of research in human spaceflight in LEO, defeating the whole point of a commercial space station. Giving up on our national capability for sustaining a continuous presence on orbit is not good. It's not good for the commercial space station's business model, not good for getting to Mars, and not good for our nation's standing in the world. Mission shift. While it may be possible to evolve a commercial space station to support longer duration stays for future missions, not requiring that it be considered in the design up front historically means that NASA will pay more for transportation in the near term, then pay again to upgrade to long duration flight. I can visualize the headlines in 5 years when this type of short-term decision-making bears ugly costs and programmatic consequences, and national capability implications. And NASA will be rightly criticized for doing it to themselves. Another problem is changing the strategy in the 11th hour for industry. Never a good idea during acquisition. Industry and its investors have anticipated NASA will start the competition for commercial low Earth orbit destinations in earnest this year. There's a real question about how much capital can be raised for a private space station, and this change will not make it easier. Many aerospace industry partners clearly signaled to NASA that their funding sources desired a final competition, guaranteeing return on investment to the funders in the next phase. Extending development instead of going to final competition as required by Duffy's new directive will likely save NASA some money up front, but reduce competition, ultimately driving up costs and hurting innovation. Some industry partners drop out due to lack of funds. Meanwhile, China has begun permanently occupying its space station and inviting international partners to join them. If they offer long-duration flights and research options that are more cost-effective, they will become the partner of choice and accelerate their own capability to send humans on the long journey to Mars. Ending continuous presence of Americans in space is a significant policy shift with national, economic, and geopolitical implications that deserves public debate, not being buried in an acquisition directive. With no permanent presence in space, will the U.S. land on the moon only to lose Leo and Mars? I'm not familiar with this directive. I'd have to read it to be absolutely sure to understand what's going on here. Delays the final competition for services, states that there is no requirement for long-duration flights, requires only 4 crew members for 30-day stays. Yeah, I've met Pam too, Baron. Pam's cool. She's alright. She flew the space shuttle. She's pretty cool. I understand what she's saying. Okay, so fellas, I have a question here. And ladies. I have a question. Ours has an article about it too, okay? Okay. I'm trying to understand. I'm not trying to be contrarian this time. I'm just genuinely curious. Why would long duration missions be the difference between commercial low Earth orbit destinations working and not working? Why would that be the difference? That's what she said, right? Why would that be the difference? I would argue that the commercial low Earth orbit destinations program was already kind of screwed. This is... It seems like, once again, I'd have to see that directive to change acquisition strategy that Sean Duffy put out. I'd have to see it. I want to read it myself, but also at the same time, like, that's the hill you're going to die on. 4 crew members for 30-day stays. The long stays for medical sign-off for Mars mission, we did 100 plus. No, you're not, nope, that's not what I asked. No, I understand that part. Huh.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
That's not what I asked. Why would that be the difference between it failing or not? States that NASA needs long duration from science and a cost perspective. Well, they had one of those lined up. They awarded an XEMU spacesuit contract to them, and they, well, basically went bankrupt. Oops. Because it will extend the development period, and the only ready program that can give 30-day flights with 4 crew on board is FAST, and a lot of people are saying that this mod has been done to help FAST. So, okay, all right. This is what I'm getting at. Axiom is not done. They're not toast. They've just put their space station modules on the back burner Nova because they got a spacesuit contract. They decided they wanted to be in the spacesuit business, not in the space station business. So, okay, Here's what I'm getting at. This is the question that I'm asking. All right, so 30. This is supposed to help fast, etc., etc. This will get a station up for supposedly quicker, right? Etc., etc. Okay, that's really good. That's good for vast. That's good. We can maintain continual presence. NASA might not have continual presence up in space, right? Like, but I mean, I'll be 100% honest with you. How are you going to maintain continual presence on a space station with one docking port? The point that I'm trying to make, guys, is that I don't think this... I understand what Pam's saying, and I agree with it. I don't think that Sean Duffy's acquisition requirement changes are what's going to screw the commercial low Earth orbit program. I would make the argument that Cleod was screwed from the start. Yeah, it was pretty screwed from the start. Do you know why? They didn't fund it. They didn't fund it. They didn't fund it. Yeah, they didn't fund it. You need money to do this. So that's what NASA needs in terms of missions. Oh, I understand that, but a 30-day requirements, 60-day requirements, 6 months stay requirement, whatever. One shift in acquisition strategy isn't going to fix the giant, colossal screw-up that the commercial low Earth orbit destinations program is, Aqualex. It's because it's been underfunded, which that's kind of where I'm getting confused. Your acquisition change is not going to fix... That's not going to fix nor hamper commercial low Earth orbit destinations. What absolutely is going to hamper it is not giving them the money that they need to fund these stations. And the one station that wasn't part of commercial low Earth orbit destinations that did have the funding, Axiom, screwed the pooch on that because some moron decided to give them the XEMU contract as well. Because we have to commercialize everything. Everything has to be commercial. We could save money with commercial. Sometimes saving money with space is a bad thing. You need to spend money to develop stuff. This is what I'm getting at. I don't think that John Duffy's administrative changes or acquisition changes are... It might be the nail in the coffin for it, proverbially, but the Cleod program was already pretty boned. It was pretty bad. It's never got... Dude, they have never gotten a funding request. They've never gotten what they've asked for from Congress. Ever. Ever. Cleod's been around since like 2018. Because NASA needs... Listening. It's fine. All right. So if there's no one to buy these missions from, NASA would be less able to justify spending money on low Earth orbit destinations, and hence would likely cut out a big chunk of funding that the market was relying on. You'd fix that problem by launching your own space station. You'd fix that money by launching your own space station, which is what they should do. And have it, I don't know, be a prototype for the transfer vehicle that you want to send people to Mars in. Just saying, probably a good idea. I'll explain. Since they're cutting $4 billion from the commercial low Earth orbit destinations program, Duffy is now killing the fixed price contract and switching to a Space Act agreement, meaning NASA won't pay much. This mod will favor interim small stations. Blue and Axiom space stations that were planning to get a big payday from NASA are now basically screwed, so they'll reduce their plan to their stations. Hope this makes sense. I mean, Gateway. Bigger picture, I agree. Not necessarily Gateway, Aqueduct. I mean... Okay. I asked my questions, and now I'm formulating an opinion on this. My opinion is that commercializing low Earth orbit is dumb. It's dumb. Do you know why? Because someone can just pull the plug on it. Now, you could argue that somebody could do that with a space station, but a NASA space station would be much harder to get the plug pulled on it. With commercial, it seems like it's very easy. Am I wrong? Gateway is what you described. Well, no, Gateway, Aqualex, yeah, in theory, Gateway's architecture is dumb.
Discovery,
It's dumb.
go and throttle up.
It's dumb. I know you don't think that, but it's dumb. You're not getting anywhere with that. You're not getting anywhere. If NASA's going to do something like that, it needs to be something like Skylab, dude. A transfer vehicle that's based off of the EUS. Send that up on an SLS. Use that as a space station for an interim amount of time, or for a good amount of time. Get those long duration missions in the vehicle that you're actually going to use to move people to another planet. Just saying, weird concept. Keep that thing going. Maybe get rid of it, maybe launch another one. In the meantime, launch one out to the moon. Use one as gateway. Right? Use that to go to the moon. Smart idea. Right? That's a pretty smart idea. And then eventually, you could either refit the one in low Earth orbit, leave it there to train for long duration missions, and then if you leave it there, you build one and then you actually send it to Mars, do flybys. This way, NASA's making the same damn thing. They're just making the same thing, using the same rocket, sending it to just different destinations. I know. Weird concept. Hey, Blue Adder, 42-month resub. Careful, you're making sounds way too practical. Like, come on, why don't we just make city-sized space stations already? Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. See, that's what I mean, dude. It's like, what?
A1,
Ooh.
the first in a new series of European weather satellites.
Too much sense being made, cease and desist. Oh, okay, Skippity Toilet Sigma Ohio Get. There you go. Now, yeah. Sorry, we were making too much sense. I had to bring us back down. Sorry about that. Sorry, yeah, no, we were making too much sense. The plan was that later this year, NASA will select 2 to 3 companies to get big contracts for the post-2030s. The program was for $5 to $6 billion. Axiom was basically begging for it, but now Duffy's facing a $4 billion cut. And once again, I don't think that $4 billion cut will happen, but yeah. I don't know, dude. I think Cleod was screwed way before this. It's nice to see Pam Melroy sounding the alarm, though. But I don't think that Sean Duffy is going to be the difference between that program succeeding or failing. It was already failing. Anyway. This is the VA-264 METOP SGA-1 mission. This is an Ariane 6-2 rocket down in Cool in French Guiana. Sorry, I had some peanut butter stuck to my mouth, to the top of my mouth. This is in Kourou in French Guiana. This is where ESA, an Ariane group, launches their rockets. It's in South America.
In mission control. We call it the Jupiter Control Center. There it is on the right-hand side of the screen.
And hopefully we get some action. This is supposed to be the second launch tonight.
Inside what we call the fishbowl. It's the glass protecting them, and making all the final decisions in there as well.
Yes,
ULA got
will
delayed
be as
animal.
well the Ariane 6 launch site. That is a dedicated area designed for launcher final preparation. So it includes, of course, the launch pad, but also the launcher assembly and the integration building.
We'll also be meeting the teams in the Launch Control Center, or CDL as it's known here at the base, closer to the pad.
Hang on, guys,
These
I'm gonna
are the teams
try to
who are
boost this.
responsible for
No
running
throttle up.
operations on the rocket and the pad right up until liftoff. Laser focus concentration in there
Yep.
now.
Yes, and we will discover as well the quick look telemetry team.
I have
So
Starbase Live.
this team collects the real-time
Always.
data that the launcher sends,
It's so
which
the
allows
headset
us
doesn't
to
time out.
continuously
Okay.
analyze the launcher
Falcon,
behavior
62-month
and
resub.
confirm that it is as expected.
Indeed. Now, let's find out how things are looking for the launch and who better to tell it.
Yeah, Alex, I figure you would say that. Gateway was explicitly a prototype Mars transfer vehicle from all the less public conversations. It was just not advertised. Yeah, I know. The whole idea was to do long duration stays in deep space, not LEO, to build the experience and data we couldn't get with the ISS. Yeah, I understand. And I understand what you're saying. I get it. You're not going anywhere near Mars with anything remotely resembling the architecture of the gateway, the current gateway. That's just not happening. I'm sorry, man. It's not. That's not a thing. But I understand that that's not exactly what you're saying. I get it. Yeah, that was the whole idea, to do the long duration missions at Gateway. So you wouldn't necessarily do shorter duration missions in LEO for training purposes, right? But Pam does bring up a good point, right? Pam does bring up a good point. How are you going to support, like, is SpaceX going to launch all those missions with Dragons? I mean, would be against that, dude. 5-core Ariane when? What? Just wondering what the light background was. Yeah, I got you.
Extremely valuable data to increase the accuracy of weather forecasts, but also to allow scientists to better understand climate change, to fight against pollution. So this is really a satellite that will provide a tangible outcome for all the European citizens. And for this reason, at Ariane Space, we are extremely proud to proceed to this launch tonight.
Absolutely. Well, David, thank you very much indeed for keeping us up to date there. David Gavayolis, thank you.
Starlink moved till tomorrow, believe it or not, Dino.
If you happen to be
24-hour
watching
move. But they didn't scrub, they just moved it.
Bell
They didn't even start the launch
and
campaign.
follow our launches. I highly recommend that you do. It's always nice to see what's going on, and we do have an awful lot.
Don't worry,
that's
just a purge flame.
Spaceport.
It's because it's using hydrogen.
21 minutes
That's
and
a hydrogen
47 seconds to launch our rocket
Pat's not on
the
fire.
pad there.
Much.
As David said, we are all green and go for launch. Our satellite's due to lift off in 21 minutes and 33 seconds. What's going to happen after that?
Yes, so tonight the Ariane 6 launch vehicle will lift off toward the north, powered by its main cryogenic engine and its two solid propellant booster. So this will be separated 2 minutes and 15 seconds after launch, followed 1 minute and 17 seconds later by the fairing separation.
They were shelving their
once the
modules
launcher has
already,
left the
Farron.
Earth's atmosphere.
You guys can
The
keep
launcher
thinking.
will continue its ascent up to 7 minutes and 35 seconds when the main stage will have finished its job. So the onboard computer will command the shutdown of the Vulcan engine and the main stage will be separated.
They have ground umbilical carriers.
The Vinci upper stage engine will be ignited for the first time and
something
will
like the
burn for
beanie
about
cap from the
12
shuttle.
minutes, putting
Same
the
idea.
launcher into an intermediate orbit. We will then have a long coasting phase going up.
These satellites are sun-synchronous polar orbit meteorological satellites. SGA carries visible infrared and microwave imager sounders. SGB will carry microwave imagers and radar and is slated to launch next year. Eventually, more A/B types will follow. Neat. Might be able to see this one scooting by. It's gonna, I don't know, maybe. No after hours tonight, Enzo. We're watching rocket launches, man.
Followed by stage passivation and leading to a re-entry above the Indian Ocean. And this deorbitation will avoid, of course, leaving any debris in orbit.
That's a little too far. A little too far east for me.
Very, very important, of course, to avoid space
Spinezar,
debris.
what's up?
And once METOP SG...
This is a meteorological satellite. It's a pair of meteorological satellites going into a sun-synchronous orbit. Thank you, Deadbringer.
Job it has with people across the world coping with increasingly extreme weather events. There's never been a better time to improve the accuracy of our weather forecast.
Is it a dog leg from the start? Yeah, John, most sun-synchronous orbit insertions are dog legs. So this thing is going to actually launch like due north. And to do a sun-synchronous when you're launching due north from Kourou, you need to turn northwest slightly.
Airbus Defence and Space working in pairs with an A-type and a B-type.
Oh, okay.
And today we are launching the first one in the second generation, and it is an A-type. That's why it is called METOP SGA1.
Yeah,
that is to say, METOP second generation A-type number 1.
And on board, it actually carries 6 instruments, I think 6 different but complementary missions. One of them is Sentinel-5, as David was telling us earlier, which is part of Europe's Copernicus program to monitor our planet. And it's very much our eye in the sky for air quality. And that's important because air pollution contributes to millions of premature deaths every year worldwide. So this is super important. Sentinel-5 is going to track pollutants, greenhouse gases, and ozone levels across the entire planet. So let's find out a little bit more now about our satellite, METOP SGA1.
I want to learn.
As Ariane 6 lifts off from the Guyana Space Center, it carries more than a satellite. It carries the future of weather and climate forecasting in Europe. On board is METOP SGA1, the latest in Europe's family of polar orbiting meteorological
Probably
satellites,
Kraken.
developed by EUMETSAT in partnership with ESA, the European Commission, CNES, and DLR. Its mission to provide the data we need to understand the weather today and the climate of tomorrow. Circling the planet 14 times a day, METOP SGA-1 scans the atmosphere from pole to pole, collecting billions of high-precision measurements, temperature, humidity, and trace gases.
Temperatures in Europe are rising twice as fast as the global average. This makes Europe the fastest warming continent in the world. Data from the first generation of METOP satellites was a game changer, while data from the second generation, the first of which we'll be launching tonight, will continue that, ensuring that it is the most important source of space-based observations for numerical weather prediction, covering the period of 12 hours to 10 days, out until the 2040s.
Built by Airbus Defence and Space, METOP SGA-1 carries a new generation of instruments, hyperspectral sensors, and microwave images designed to detect even the smallest changes in the atmosphere. It also hosts the Sentinel-5 mission, part of the European Union's Copernicus program. The Copernicus Sentinel-5A is the evolution of the Copernicus Sentinel-5P.
That was a bold statement for that guy to say,
Alexa. This new satellite will perform atmospheric measurements at a high spatial, spectral, and temporal resolution related to air quality, methane emissions, ozone, and UV radiation. The new mission, together with the geostationary Sentinel-4 and the upcoming CO2M mission, secure Copernicus as one of the most advanced Earth observation systems in the world
pretty cool.
when it comes to atmosphere monitoring.
With the launch of the Copernicus Sentinel-5 mission on board an Ariane 6, the European Union cements its position as global leader in the provision of Earth observation data. By orbiting the Earth every 100 minutes, the Copernicus Sentinel-5 instrument will deliver daily global data on air pollutants and other atmospheric trace gases, which will be used by the Copernicus Atmosphere Monitoring Service for value-added information.
METOP SGA-1's observations will feed models from numerical weather prediction, enabling them to become more precise and timely. Numerical weather prediction models underlie many aspects of modern life. Weather forecasts up to 10 days ahead, climate research, and database policies. Working behind the scenes, the satellite helps protect lives and guide governments in the face of what's ahead. They don't have ACs like us. Their houses are made to retain heat.
In addition, countries in northern latitudes will also be able to use data from the METOP SG satellites to improve nowcasting that is crucial for disaster management and early warnings before extreme.
I know the difference. I know the difference. I was making a joke.
Is one of the main causes of destabilization in the world. One key to mitigate the associated risk is more accurate weather forecasting. The European METOP program contributes to this forecasting and is set to improve.
Built to retain heat, just like EJ's streaming office.
Which will see pairs of more advanced
it's pretty comfy in here right now, dude. Ever since I cleaned out the air conditioner and I redid the hose, so the run to the wall is a lot shorter.
High-resolution
observation, essential. Pretty good in here. That's not bad. I'll take 26. It was like 33 in here the other day.
Go, METOP SG. Go.
Jack Frodo, doubleheader night.
Ariane 6 and METOP SGA-1 embody Europe's ambition to ensure that space innovation leads to greater resilience on Earth.
I think Ship 37 is going tomorrow. We're going to see more testing with it tomorrow, dude. You have to detank everything. You have to purge out all the lines. It's going to take some time. Maybe SpaceX could get that done by 3 a.m., but, dude, just do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
One day
is European spaceport is it's a big
just don't blow it up.
Yes, the European spaceport is a very big place, so nearly 700 square meters. So, corresponding to 6 times of the surface of inner Paris, to give you an idea.
Yeah, indeed. And we call the whole thing the range, which includes the tracking stations dotted along the flight path. And because everyone's spread out across the range, everyone's got to be looking at the same information.
Tim, I don't think that's what that means, but you know.
You saw them back there in the Mission Control Center. We can see them back there throughout the spaceport. And right now the panels are all green. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
So tell us about the panels then.
Yeah, so the status panel shows the live go, no-go status across the base. So as you said, all must be green for launch to go ahead. And they show us the health of 3 main systems across the base. So, of course, the launcher and its ground system. You can see ensemble.
What time is Vulcan? So Vulcan is targeting 8:56. So in the next 30 minutes, we should get 2. We should get 2. In the next 30 minutes, I want to point this out. In the next 30 minutes, we're going to get 2 rockets that aren't Falcon 9. That's kind of neat. Don't get me wrong. I love Falcon 9. But it is nice to change it up every once in a while. How's the stream been? It's been fine. Everything's working good.
What are they doing right now?
Yes,
I love Falcon. It's my favorite rocket.
The launch control
Maybe except for the space
center,
shuttle.
so the CDL,
But
is
also,
where the Ariane
it's nice to see something else.
teams are getting the launch pad and the rocket ready for liftoff. So these are the operations
Hydrolox
team.
methane.
And they're
Ariane
sending
is
the various,
Hydrolox in the
commands
first and
to
second
turn the
stage
launcher avionics
with
on, to
attachable
fill the
solid rocket
propellant tanks,
boosters.
to pressurize
So
the tanks.
Ariane has a core stage that's using hydrogen and oxygen, and then a second stage using hydrogen and oxygen as well. It can carry a third stage if it needs to. I think inside the payload fairing, if I'm remembering right. That might be the Silda, but I digress. That's another story. Ariane can launch with 2 or 4 P-120C attachable solid rocket motors. The P-120C is a carbon composite solid rocket motor. I think it uses HTPB and AP, if I'm remembering right, but I'd have to go check. The P-120C, the attachable boosters on Ariane 6, are the first stage of Vega C. So Vega C is the medium duty launch vehicle for the ESA and Ariane group. And the Ariane 6 is the heavy duty launch vehicle. This is a heavy lifter. It is Europe's big boy lifter. And it has 2 Vega C first stages strapped to the side, which is actually pretty cool. It's HTPB AP aluminum. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, yeah, sweet. So it's very similar to the solid rocket propellants that we use. Does it use the Vulcan engine? In the first stage, yes.
Of launcher malfunction. And we need
Thunder
also
Cruiser
to monitor the risk of lightning during the ascent to avoid being hit by lightning.
We are up at about 3 hours on today's stream. No problems, no hiccups, no nothing. I had some trouble dialing in my audio, but it fixed itself and I'm not asking questions. Seriously, I plugged the microphone in and it said there was no connectivity because I needed to swap out that cable that we were talking about, right? And I sat down here and I was sitting here ready to hit the go live button and I noticed it wasn't connected. And I sat here for about 15 minutes just kind of sitting there thinking, I'm like, it's plugged in. Why does it say it's not plugged in? And then I said, all right, fine. All right, let's get the snow cone mug going, which I have still plugged in as a backup just in case. Let's get the blue snowball going. And right when I thought, let's get the blue snowball going, it connected. I did not change a thing. I was sitting here doing this. You know, I'm not going to read too much into that. All the mixer, the mic, everything is working. We're just going to nod and smile and watch some rocket launch. You threatened it with a superior Ford. Yeah.
Huge structure, so 8,200 tons of metallic structure.
A problem that goes away on its own can come back on its own. Most likely, but it hasn't yet. So
built on wheels, and it rolls back just before launch. It travels very slowly.
Has SpaceX lost momentum? No, Hawker, not at all. They launch a Falcon like 2 or 3 times a week, dude. No, not at all. Look, man, Starship is a hard rocket to develop. We're in a little bit of a rough patch with development for the thing, for sure. Don't worry. This rough patch is only kind of, that's kind of what it looks like. When Block 3 comes around with Starship, you'll start seeing some pretty rapid advancement. Just wait until the end of the summer, dude. You'll see that SpaceX wasn't really losing momentum, more so. They were retooling for a push. Big push in Starship development. that's really what's going on. Yeah, big push. Ooh, flanges.
Guidance vehicle, and once it arrived on the launch pad, it was vertically tilted, lifted up inside the mobile gantry, and accurately positioned on the launch table.
Mixer felt threatened. Yeah,
and
that's
course,
it, man.
the two boosters were then transported on to the launch pad,
good, Chris, yeah.
and of course integrated
fine.
onto the main stage. After that, our passenger, Method AG-A1, arrived in French Guiana in mid-June. The spacecraft container was transferred to the preparation facilities.
If you're wondering, that ship, what are those antennas that are sitting on the ship? It's sails. That is a sailboat. Yep. Escape suits. That's hydrazine fueling right there. There's the satellite, mating it onto the payload attachment fitting. And it will be vertically transferred? It'll be vertically transported to a cell for fairing encapsulation, which is what you're going to see here. See, there's the fairings. You can tell they're fairings because of the way it is. And then once that's done, inside of the fairing encapsulation area, they move it to the mobile service gantry, and then they just pick the thing up and set it on top of the rocket. See, pretty cool.
Last Wednesday.
This might be a complicated question, but my stepfather was watching The Martian, and it got me thinking, in real life, how much can we lower a turnaround time for a rocket if we went around redundant safety checks? Probably do it pretty dang fast, but it'll probably blow up.
There have been lots of operations, haven't there, in these last 9 hours or so? What are the highlights?
Yes, so after the gantry was removed, all the propellant line were flushed to avoid any leftover humidity in preparation
this is
for the cooling of the
third,
lines. And then the
third
start
flight of
fueling,
Ariane, Neptune, I'm pretty sure,
around
yeah.
6 hours before launch. In parallel, there have been electrical checks.
Where's the square?
And,
Oh, there's the square hole.
Getting the
No, that's at the very bottom of the rocket.
and
That's
now
looking at
we are
the
in
nozzle of the
stable
Vulcan
situation,
engine.
waiting for the start of the automatic synchronized sequence.
Auto sequencer.
And that's coming up in
That's a
the next
picture
20
of a
minutes,
window.
seconds. Our range operations manager getting ready to announce it.
A Tuesday DDO. Oh, no. He's
picked up
he's
the
ordering a
phone.
pizza.
So the
anchovies.
synchronized sequence, the
Okay, that's
automatic sequence is normally the last 5 minutes of a countdown.
You saw
So
Canopy
far, we have not
last year
actually
in
received
Bordeaux.
yet
Amazing
a
ship.
confirmation
It's a
that
sailboat.
has been triggered.
It's a sailboat. We've been
We're
using
looking
those
at
for
green
hundreds of
status
years.
panels.
It's not special.
And we're hoping to hear soon from the range operations manager.
À tous de DDO, séquence finale lanceur passée à H0-5 minutes.
Stand by for the launcher auto sequencer start at T-minus 4
Okay,
minutes.
so we have.
Yeah, I understood what he said.
Has he
Shut
announced
up.
the beginning of the synchronized
Yeah,
sequence?
you
didn't know that,
Yes,
huh?
indeed. Okay, so that's good news.
Woo!
Last 5 minutes of the
Drop the mic.
operations, and lots going on during this time. Lots of
Oui,
very,
oui,
very
baguette.
detailed operations and very
Yeah,
fast times
oui.
to the millisecond.
Yes, and all those operations are very precisely timed, combining system checks and pressurization of the cryo tanks, activation of different system and valves.
He said, no, he said
The
4.
control of the operation is gradually.
Why would he
being
announce that
transferred
the auto
from the
sequencer is
ground
going to
the
start at 5
computer,
minutes at T-minus 4
on the
minutes and
launcher,
12
and
seconds?
it will be the launcher on board the computer who will actually send the main engine ignition command. The same computer will
I don't
check
think we need
the
Starbase
main
live audio.
engine
Roadblocks open,
before
by the
sending
way,
the
for
fueling
Ship
arm
37.
disconnection
It's
and
soft
booster
block right
ignition
now.
commands for liftoff. Since we have a fixed launch day today, launch today. Sorry, without a launch window. If we have a stop for any reason, we will need to postpone the launch.
So we're looking here at our rocket on its pad. Just a couple of thoughts about the ignition sequence. We're going to switch the Vulcan engine on before we switch on the boosters.
Yes, 7 seconds before liftoff, the Vulcan engine is ignited. That allows to check it is running correctly, smoothly, before we ignite the boosters.
It's a gas generator, I think.
And let's just briefly tell people about the cryogenic arms, Vincent. You can't see them here, but actually once we get another shot of the rocket, there, we've got a great view of them, those yellow arms.
Yes.
So they're clamping onto the top of the rocket, and they are feeding cryogenic fuel into the top of the rocket, very, very ultra cold.
Yes, so the cryogenic arms, so 13 meters long and 20
cycle
tons.
gas generator.
Huge mechanical arms connected to the launcher to ensure the fueling of the main of the upper stage, with liquid hydrogen and oxygen at extreme temperature.
Oh no, closed cycle
gas.
It's a closed cycle hydrolox gas generator.
And they also enable to maintain a constant pressure in the tanks and
pretty
the
good
stability
motor
of fluid inside the launcher up to the liftoff time.
And feeding the same cryogenic fuel into the bottom of the rocket. You can't see them at the moment, but if we change the shot, we might see the big tanks going in there.
Yes, we do the exact same thing on the main stage, so the lower stage. We have the Mang fuel connection, but this time with massive system called Mang installed on the table, so 10 meter high and 100 tons.
All right, well, we'll flip over to that Kate in a moment.
Now to the 1 minute mark.
À tous les DDO, temps final.
À tous les DDO, attention pour moins d'une minute.
Stop.
Top, à 0 moins 1 minute.
1 minute.
We are 1 minute to launch. Our very best wishes now to all the teams. Good luck, everyone. Bon voyage. Ariane 6 and METOP SGA-1 with Sentinel-5.
Okay, let's see how she rolls. Regenerative cooling being 2 volts, film cooling by gas generator injection. Yeah, it's pretty trick little engine for Hydrolox Deadbringer. I'll say it. I'll credit where credit is due. Pretty trick design. 25 seconds.
À tous les DDO, attention pour décompte final.
Stand by for the final count.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Top. Allumage de GSR et décollage.
P120C ignition and liftoff. Go, baby! Yeah, all right. Look good to me.
Pilotage calme, paramètres à bord sont normaux.
Those P120s really pack a punch. Oh. Hang on. Oh no, it's just the camera exposure changing.
Propulsion nominale.
Mission's nominal thus far.
Les paramètres à bord sont normaux, la trajectoire est nominale.
Trajectory is nominal. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Those SRBs are nice and happy. This is that's a really
La propulsion est nominale.
Underexposed shot. The plumes looked real good from that picture. Yeah, everything looks good, man. I mean, not that we could see much. I'm watching the plume.
Paramètres à bord sont normaux, passage ultrasonique.
Watch the flames coming out of the rocket. If the color changes or you see parts fly off or something, that's something wrong. But
Blazing
this
a
looks
trail
great.
across the night skies here over the Guiana Space Center, the European spaceport in French Guiana. They have started their journey.
Pilotage calme et passage de la pression dynamique max.
We are
Maximum
hearing
dynamic pressure.
that the pressure is calm, everything is going well, and we are looking here at 2 boosters, Vincent. They're doing all the work right now, aren't they?
Yes, we can see the 2 boosters, so we are in the booster phase. So the mass of the launcher on the pad, 535 tons. So to lift off, you need more thrust than weight. So
starting to get a little bit of combustion instability. That's what the flashing is on the SRBs. That's normal. That's supposed to happen.
He's telling us that everything is going well. Everything is normal. Getting close now to... We should see, actually, those boosters being jettisoned on our cameras. We'll see 2 dots kind of moving away from... We're looking there, I think,
the Vulcan engine is
on.
The
engine on the main stage. There we go. We can see the boosters. And we have confirmation, and that's what it looks like. The 2 boosters falling away there.
Good.
La propulsion est nominale.
Yeah.
Propulsion is good. 2 minutes 30 seconds. Everything's good. That's fine.
Yes.
Looking now at the main engine, the Vulcan engine, which is now
Trajectory is
and he's
good.
telling us that everything's normal.
I really hope that's
right
the
now,
camera
the next thing to be jettisoned
rate.
will be the fairing.
Or else we got a big problem.
That's the top, the nose
Manœuvre
cone
enroulée en
of the
cours.
rocket.
Tout est nominal.
Everything's fine, and the fairing is protecting our satellites. Actually, we've got a good view of it there on our CGI images, the top of the rocket, the cargo bay, if you like. Our
Les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
Stowed inside there, Vincent. It's got a number of jobs.
So this is just an animation, guys. That's the mission director doing his thing. Up here is what you got to look for. Long story short, if something's going weird, if the X goes out of the circle, you got a problem. Separation coiffe is the fairing. It's fairing separation.
Generated by the different ignitions.
Should be popping up here in a moment.
Very loud.
Yeah, and during the flight, so right now it protects the satellites against air friction and the extreme heat as we travel through the dense part of the atmosphere. And now...
We have separation of the fairing. It's been jettisoned, so we don't need that anymore. We're out of the dense part of the atmosphere that you were describing. And look at that. Wow. We can see our satellite for the first time, and it's a big one. It's the gold structure.
Yes, so we can see the METOP SG-A1 spacecraft position on top of the launcher. So it is attached to the upper stage with a conical adapter. So METOP SG-A1, a big bird of more than 4 tons, positioned on top of the launcher in stowed configuration, of course, for the flight. So
this line up here is actual telemetry. That's real telemetry. This is just an animation. These are just people with their arms crossed. But METOP is going right down the track. That's perfect. That's actually really good.
Instrument or specific equipment.
Propulsion nominale.
Propulsion is good.
Indeed, he's telling us everything's going well up there in space. And those instruments, we have 6 different instruments on board. Let's tell you about them. If we go clockwise from the top right, everything's going well. Yazi, next generation.
Yeah, because you don't want to see the rocket launch. You want to see a picture of the payload. Right? Right? Am I right, guys? We can't be bothered actually watching the rocket fly into space. Here, look at this computer graphics of the payload. Look at how much stuff it has.
Humidity and
we get spoiled with SpaceX. Chris, ULA doesn't do this.
Now that's able to see through clouds, giving us information about
shut up! I'm taking notes here.
As well as snow and
no, you
ice.
Shut up.
Yes, and on the other side we have the 3MI, which is that is a
still better than here's a render of a box. Yeah, that's fair, but that wasn't a rocket ascending either. Let's be real, that box ain't going nowhere.
Of clouds and just above Sentinel-5 that will gather data about our atmosphere and air quality as part of
Ship 37
Copernicus Earth Observation Program.
One of the pipes
right at the top on the top left-hand side is Met Image. It's a visual and infrared imager, giving us high-resolution images, which are very useful for... He's telling us the propulsion is normal, very useful for looking at the clouds, and the land surface is also useful for looking at sea ice and the surface of the oceans. So 6 incredibly important Instruments all packed on board one satellite bristling with technology.
Not right now,
And our satellite Metop SGA-1 is a great example of teamwork and
We're going to have to
European
switch over to Vulcan
excellence.
coverage here in a second, guys.
In observation from space, it was built by a consortium of different industries led by
I wonder if the motherboard
Airbus,
will burn up on the
Defence
satellite.
and space.
Is it 15 years old? If
Now,
it's 15 years old, it might.
Les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
Top right-hand side of your screen, the green line is the planned trajectory, and the white cross is our actual position of our launcher.
It was not too soon. I'm totally not upset about
We are
that.
burning, Vincent, the main stage. It's that whopping great big tank of fuel in the middle of the rocket.
Propulsion
Yes, we
nominal.
are at the end of the main stage flight. So the main stage.
No, my motherboard's 15 years old. Ding was trying to make
Paramètres à bord sont normaux.
motherboard joke.
And fueled with
trying to make fun of me.
154 tons of cryogenic
Extinction
propellant.
Vulcan.
Vulcan flame out.
And he's just confirmed there that we've switched the main stage off.
Séparation LLPM.
And we have separated it and jettisoned
Second
it.
stage. All right, Vinci engine needs to go now.
Premier allumage Vinci.
And we have ignition, our
Perfect.
first
Tous
ignition
les paramètres à bord
of
sont
the
normaux.
Vinci upper stage, and everything is going
The
according
APU
to
should
plan.
turn
So
on
yes,
here in a
now
moment.
we've really gone into the next phase of our flight. The upper stage has taken the baton. Its job is
Orbite
to
atteinte à extinction
deliver.
Vulcan nominale. Les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
Everything's going fine.
Yeah,
Everything's
I
going
remember.
according to plan. Its job is to deliver its
Pilotage
passenger
calme.
to its required destination in space, where we can drop it off. And to do that, it's got the engine on it, which is the Vinci.
Yes, the
engine.
Vinci. So the upper stage is equipped with the Vinci engine. So
Les
we
paramètres à bord sont
need,
normaux.
two ignition of the engine will be necessary to reach the separation orbit. So and now we are in the first boost of this upper stage engine for a duration of 700
Premier allumage APU. Les paramètres à bord sont normaux.
15 seconds. That
APU is
a
on.
little bit
All right,
less
guys.
than 12
Everything looks good here. I'll
So we've switched on a new thing called the
I am-
APU. And
I am going to
Yes,
try to
the
double
APU,
box
an
this here.
innovative new device on the Ariane 6 upper stage, so it performs a number
I'm gonna
of
pop out the
critical
chat
functions,
here for YouTube.
including helping with engine reignition and enhance
Pilotage
finally,
calme, tous les
the
paramètres à bord sont normaux.
versatility of Ariane 6.
And we're gonna have to double box this with
our
Vulcan.
flight path takes us, as you said earlier in the show, Vincent takes us up over
Trajectoire
the
nominale.
North Pole.
Down procedure.
Heading up towards,
Several critical
the
activities
Caribbean,
occur in the
over
final
the
minutes
North
before
Carolina,
launch,
up over
including
North
verifying fuel tank levels and
Hey, come on back.
Range Operations Commander confirms the range is green, in a green condition, for launch, assuring there is no
Prepare to
nearby
fast forward.
constraints like boats, planes, or weather, and that all tracking systems are operational. At T-minus 25 seconds, you'll hear, go Vulcan, go Centaur, go USSF 106. This is the final status check of the rocket and payload readiness. At T-minus 6 seconds, initiation of the launch pad water
capturing the
deluge
wrong
system occurs.
screen now,
At T-minus
so
30
that's
seconds,
good.
the main engines ignite. Then
Thank you very much. That captured the screen with the chats
after
on it.
seeing Vulcan liftoff,
Sorry,
you'll hear flight
teething problems
commentator
from the new
Daniel
mobile. Give me
Brunson
1 minute.
providing
1
updates
minute.
as the
1
rocket
minute.
ascends into space. In our launch count, we include planned holds. This means that as the launch team and the launch clock are getting closer to liftoff, the
And-
clock will pause for short periods of time to allow the
look
team
at
to resolve any
this!
issues
You got
that
a
might
double
occur
box,
in
dude!
the hours leading to launch. If you're familiar with launch counts, then you might already know that
If
the
this
L minus
becomes a
time
rocket
refers to
launching,
the actual
rocket
time
watching
remaining
stream,
until
like a
launch,
plane watching
and the
stream,
T
can't
minus
see me, I'll
time
consider
refers
my
to the
job
time that
successful.
reflects these holds. By building in these holds, we give ourselves a higher probability of an on-time liftoff. As we are currently in our 7 minutes hold, we will anticipate releasing the hold in just a few moments.
I don't have enough monitors to do a quad box.
Time will be T minus 7 minutes and counting. 3, 2, 1, mark.
All right, we're waiting on that hold release.
The countdown clock has resumed, and we are go for launch at 8:56
All right.
p.m. Eastern Time.
So,
after decades of launching our country,
what you see here on the right box, that is the SF-106. That is a Vulcan VC-4 launch vehicle with 4 attachable solid rocket motors. This is the Space Force 106 payload. What it does is something that has to do with going into space that if I knew, I probably wouldn't be streaming. So yeah, we don't know. It's a Space Force payload. It's going somewhere. It's going to do something. Hey, where does this rocket go? It goes up. And then over here, you have Ariane 6 coverage. The launch is looking pretty good thus far. That Vinci engine and the third stage on the Ariane 6 rocket is still right in the track. It's perfect. So yeah, we got double blocks. We got two rocket launches for the price of one. Be sure to tip your waitress. Something. Was that a BMP I just saw over there? There we go. Yeah, this version of Vulcan, guys, is going to get off the pad like what we just saw with Ariane 6. Hey, thanks for the bits, Paper City. It's going to get off the pad real quick. This thing has 4 GM63XL engines attached to it. Those are attachable solid rocket motors.
This is space. I'm in space.
Vulcan can have up to 6. This is the first time we've seen a 4 SRM configuration for Vulcan. All the other Vulcan launches have been a VC2 configuration. Hokey! Gifted 10 subs. Thanks, man.
Weather Squadron. The probability of violating launch constraints is 20%. Ground winds are 10 knots out of the east-southeast, and the temperature is 84 degrees Fahrenheit. The primary concern for launch today is the cumulus cloud rule. The range is green and for weather, and we are go for launch.
Vulcan's looking good. Tonight is the third ever launch for Vulcan and Ariane 6. Damn. So
Following liftoff, ULA's Vulcan rocket will be flying an easterly heading from Space Launch Complex 41. Here's a look at today's flight.
So I will say that this is the first national security
Following
payload
final confirmation of rocket
Vulcan.
readiness, twin BE-4 engines and 4 GEM
Thank you for the
63XL
bits.
solid
Let's
rocket
go.
boosters produced nearly 3 million pounds of thrust to lift ULA's Vulcan rocket away from
Discovery,
Cape
go
Canaveral
and throttle up.
Space Launch Complex 41. Shortly after
However,
liftoff, the rocket begins a pitchover to attain the proper flight path while minimizing the dynamic pressure it experiences during flight. Vulcan then reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound. With the ability to add 2, 4, or 6 solid rocket boosters, or SRBs, Vulcan can be precisely configured to take any mission to space, from low Earth orbit to Pluto and beyond. These boosters augment the rocket's total thrust at liftoff, adding approximately 460,000 pounds of thrust per SRB. With their propellant expired approximately 90 seconds into ascent.
That's 2,400 kilonewtons per SRM.
Jettison time is
It's got
variable,
4 of them.
occurring between 100 and
This
150
thing's gonna go
seconds after
real
liftoff,
fast.
depending on mission requirements.
Ariane 6 has
Vulcan's
launched
guidance
one prod.
system then activates to steer
Vulcan has
towards
not,
the precise
but you're about
target
to
in
see it.
space. First stage flight continues as the rocket crosses the
Hey, Jim.
Kármán line, entering space. With the majority of propellant expended
Buck
as Vulcan
25,
fights against the force of
125 month
gravity,
resub. Thanks,
the
dude.
BE-4 engines shut down, and the booster stage separates. With the rocket now weighing less than 10% of what it did at liftoff, dual RL-10C engines on ULA's Centaur upper stage ignite. Spacecraft are encapsulated inside a 5.4-meter diameter payload fairing, which provides a protective environment during ascent. Following Centaur engine ignition, the payload fairing is jettisoned.
Ariane 6 is
and the
still
mission
right
continues to its
right
final
down the track.
destination.
Everything looks real good.
Once we lift off, viewers watching the launch from Florida and points east
That's
may be able to see
geostationary.
Vulcan
That's a
in flight.
geostationary
To get a closer
transfer
look at
orbit
this visibility
trajectory.
map, check out @ULA Launch on social media.
Yeah, I hope not, Dead Scum.
Roger.
Oh, hello.
159.
154.
Vehicle
All right, guys.
internal.
I
155.
am
Launch
going
sequencer start.
to give you guys a full shot of Vulcan here.
$140.
Launch enable.
$135.
FTS armed.
90 seconds out.
T-minus 90 seconds.
It
The
just
launch
said that.
vehicle, ground systems, payload, and eastern range are go for launch. For
I don't
those
know,
of you
Enzo.
just tuning in,
I'll figure
I'm
out
Chris
something.
Beltry, joining you for today's live coverage of USSF 106 atop ULA's Vulcan rocket.
What's up, Chris?
At this time, the team is not working any issues, and we're proceeding towards liftoff at 8:56 p.m. Eastern Time.
That is really good to know. One minute.
T-minus 1 minute.
Range status. Range green.
Range reports green. So the range is like the air traffic. It's like air traffic control for rockets. It's basically the tower, so to speak. Range says you're good to go. You have permission to launch.
45.
Vulcan tanks at step 3.
40.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
34.
30 seconds.
30.
EE4 start box, go.
28.
Verify ECS routes for launch.
Verified.
Environmental control systems.
This is space.
20
I'm in
seconds.
space.
Status check. Go Vulcan. Go Centaur. Go SF-106.
15. 10.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
B for
3.
ignition.
We have ignition.
Oh.
1.
Send it.
And liftoff.
Yeah,
United Launch Alliance
baby.
Vulcan rocket carrying USSF 106 for the United States Space Force.
SF-106 is in the air.
Continuing legacy
First flight of
national
Vulcan
security
DC-4.
space launch with the innovative Vulcan rocket.
Fly, baby, fly, man. That thing's quick.
Half mile in altitude.
It's pretty fast, man.
Completed our pitch and yaw program. Body rates turned to 0. P's gone to closed loop control.
Okay, so if the rates are at 0, that means she's flying perfectly straight. Basically where you want to go. No corrections needed.
And we've completed our roll program.
Roll program is good.
3 miles in altitude, half mile downrange.
Oh, miles. Yes.
And Mach 1, Vulcan is supersonic.
That was pretty quick.
Vehicle's traveling at 1,500 miles per hour, right down the center of the range track.
Some freedom units
Max
right
Q,
there.
maximum dynamic pressure.
Here we go.
Engine parameters continue to look good. Hydraulics good.
Okay, back on the Ariane 6 coverage, we should have Vinci flame
5
out here
miles
in a
downrange.
moment.
You are hearing Daniel Brunson providing launch vehicle ascent data.
I saw some stuff come off there, but I think it was just ice.
Good indication of SRB burnout. Preparing for SRB jettison.
So it's going to ride with the SRBs for a little bit
continue to burn nominally.
till it gets to a little bit of a higher altitude, so there's less aerodynamic forces pushing on the SRBs, so they jettison and
Good
they move
indication
away
of
from the
SRB
vehicle.
separation.
See? Everything looked good there.
EE4 is entering its first throttle bucket. And guidance enabled. We've been able to close loop steering.
Okay.
At this point in
We
flight,
just heard
Vulcan is now half
confirmation of solid
Oh.
rocket booster jettison. These
Oh.
four motors augmented the thrust of
Hello.
the main vehicle engines at liftoff, giving the Vulcan rocket an extra boost on its journey to geosynchronous orbit.
27 miles downrange. Continues right down the center of the range track. Traveling at 3,200 miles per hour.
About 50 kilometers downrange.
Engine continues to burn nominally. Body rate's looking good. And we've got activation of the RCS pyro valves on the upper stage.
So pyro valves are enabled on the Centaur upper stage. Centaur has a reaction control system, and it uses
34
pyro
miles an
valves to
altitude.
arm itself, because it
Approaching
only needs to
4,000
turn
miles per
on
hour.
once. You only need to start it up once. It's not like they inert the stage and then
Body
start
rate
it up
continue to look
again.
as expected.
What the pyro valve does is it primes the reaction control systems. Centaur does have little thrusters on the back of it by the two RL-10s, and they are used to precisely steer the stage if the engines aren't running, or
Passing
they
80
use
miles downrange. Vulcan continues right down the center of the range track.
or they use it to steer while the engines are firing. It can control roll rates and a bunch of other things. Oh, nice. We got some telemetry here. I don't know why they're doing that on a Space Force mission, but we got a flight azimuth at 94.5.
Passing through 45 miles in altitude.
Downrange
37
150
miles downrange.
kilometers. We're just past 2 kilometers a second. They need to get to about 7,600 kilometers a second here to get this right. 76 up, 210 seconds into the flight. Everything looking good. How do they deorbit a second stage?
Engine parameters continue to look healthy.
Where this thing is going, the second stage gets put into a type of geostationary transfer orbit, right, with low perigee, so it burns up with this type of trajectory.
We're now a quarter of our original liftoff weight. 169 miles downrange, 56 miles in altitude.
Everything looks good. Great flight for Vulcan thus far. Everything looks fine. She's right in the track. 95.4 degrees.
Good activation of the upper stage PU motors.
That's good
Discovery,
for a geostationary transfer. This all looks fine. Not that I know exactly where it's going.
Traveling 8,400 miles
I'm
per
guessing it's geostationary transfer trajectory, but that's that.
This is Vulcan Mission Control at T plus 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Hey,
We're about
snap.
30 seconds
That
away
core
from our
stage,
next
though.
mission
It's
events.
pretty nice.
Booster engine cutoff and booster separation, followed by start of the main engine and jettison of payload fairing. Let's return to Daniel Brunson.
Danny B. So, booster engine cutoff in about 10 seconds. Pico.
And we've completed boost phase chill down.
Okay. Man, that core burns for a long time, dude.
Prop on, Elsie.
5-minute burn
And
on a
good
first
indication
stage is
shutdown.
no joke, dudes. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. This is looking down at the
Good
first
indication
stage.
center separation.
Oh! All right.
We got pre-start on H2 and O2.
Okay.
And good start on the upper stage engines. 2 good RL10s.
2 good RL10 ignition, baby. That was pretty
indication of
nice.
PLF jettison. Centaur PU set to open loop control. Body rate's looking good.
Rates are good, meaning it's flying in the right direction. Thanks, Graham.
This is Vulcan Mission Control.
What up,
at
Chris?
T plus 5 minutes and 45 seconds.
Why
we
did he
just
stop
heard flight
talking when I
commentator
talk?
Daniel Brunson confirm the successful completion of the early milestones in today's flight, and all systems continue to operate nominally. As the mission continues, let's take a look at the important work done by the Space Force's Space Systems Command.
You know what sucks? I just had this whole spiel on the Ariane 6 stream about how ULA doesn't do that. Like, why would you, want to watch anything but the rocket launching into space? Like, why would you want to launch anything else? And I kind of made fun of Ariane Group for doing that. And I specifically said ULA doesn't do that. And the one time I say that, they do it. That's good. It's good. This is fine. This is fine. Let's go back to side-by-side view. I mean, to be fair, this is a Space Force launch. That has a lot to do with it. Why does the telemetry show animation in metric, but they call out telemetry in freedom units? I'm at a loss for words there, Archie. I have no idea. Ooh, tanks. I like tanks. Can I see more tanks? Is that an Atlas 3? That was an Atlas 3. See that? It's an Atlas 3. That was an Atlas 5. That's an Atlas 5 right there. Traffic. People fighting. Man flying a jet. Lady talking about spaceflight. Look at this satellite. Satellites can have trajectories. Rockets can launch. How did New Shepard sneak in there? What promo is this? Space Force X-37, X-37, X-37. Seriously though, that was B-roll X-37 animation from 25 years ago. Ooh, an art jet. Neat. That's pretty neat. America, Space Force, satellites, cybersecurity, more satellites, guy with a mustache. People working on a satellite. Sorry, I'll stop. Yeah, that was a pretty good mustache. It was within regulations too. It was pretty good. We are the Space Force. Semper Supra. What? Hey, that's their motto. Just saying. Look at all these people talking. Look at these futuristic chairs. Look at this man conducting business. What? Why are you looking at me like that? I don't know. Those chairs are kind of cool. I kind of want one. We do the work. We are a team. Look at this planet. Space Systems Command. That's pretty awesome. Space Systems Command is pretty cool.
Tuning in to today's flight. What a beautiful evening we had in Florida for launch today. We got to hear from ULA's president and CEO, Tori Bruno, about how Centaur is truly one of a kind, and we witnessed boost phase for Vulcan's inaugural national security mission.
Hey!
For more information about ULA, the Vulcan rocket, and USSF 106 updates, please visit ulalaunch.com and subscribe to ULA's YouTube channel. And plan to join us for our next launch, an Atlas V rocket launching Kuiper 3 for Amazon. As we sign off this evening, we'll take another look at today's liftoff.
Get it, goalie?
9.
Give me a timestamp.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Oh,
ignition,
yeah.
1.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And
yeet!
Liftoff of United Launch Alliance Vulcan rocket carrying USSF 106 for the United States Space Force,
Those birds are
continuing
really
ULA's soaring legacy in national security space launch with the innovative Vulcan rocket.
He's just an engineer, Graham. That's all.
Half mile in altitude.
Hello.
Completed our pitch and yaw program. Body rates turn.
The birds are probably out. Oh, no, not this again. Hans Bricks! Oh, no! Ariane 6 is coasting right now. Everything looks good there. I just want to see. Mongolians? What are Mongolians doing here? Everything looks fine here, goalie. What are you talking about? I did see some stuff come off the vehicle. I will say, if you look right here, I did see something. The reason why I'm curious about those SRBs, guys, is because on the CERT 2 mission, Vulcan's last mission, one of these nozzles decided it didn't want to be part of the SRB anymore and shot off the back. Left side. Give me a timestamp, dude. Hang on. It may have just been the reflection off the clouds, but it looks like we got a flash right there. Yeah, it's just a cloud. Oh, hold on. All four of them separated, Jim. I'm pretty damn sure. Yeah, that one's just that's just the clouds. It looks like it's yeah.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Charles, 18-month resub. Everything looks okay here. We can see the nozzles. That one's definitely working, because if it wasn't, the flames would be up here. So we could see 3 good nozzles there. That camera's a little weird, but See? Okay. Check it out, dudes. Did you see it? Right there. See that? See that little guy? Now, don't get me wrong. SRBs do sometimes have chunks of fuel that comes out. That happens. They do shoot sparks out, so to speak. That's definitely a thing. But it was one lone thing. Am I still doing the subject notes for the flame trench? Oh. Look. Uh-oh. Could be ice. I doubt ice is on fire when it comes out of the rocket, Tim, but once again, those could be chunks of SRB. They could just be could be pieces of nozzle, like not nozzle. They could be pieces of bits of fuel. That does happen. Yeah, very distinct. We do not like chunky in spaceflight. You're not wrong, dude. You ain't wrong. I'll see if I see anything else. I did see him. I called it out. I saw stuff come off the vehicle, but it wasn't nearly as much as the last time. There was another one right there, and then there's another one before that on the other side. See? If it was the nozzle, wouldn't the plume change? It's kind of hard to tell, Mutter, because night launch. Like I said, the sparks do happen. That happens. I mean, the pieces coming off, parts coming out is certainly something, guys. But I don't think they lost the nozzle. I would have noticed that. I immediately would have called it out. This looks okay, but once again, it may have been hard to see because of the night launch, you know? Hey, Dr. WD-40. Thank you for the raid. They're not sparks. I know they're not sparks, dude. I know they're not sparks. They look like sparks. That's the best way I can convey it. Because saying liberated chunks of solid rocket propellant doesn't really, you know, little bit, it's not nearly as nice on the ears as saying some sparks shot out the back, okay? All right, let's take a look. Very clearly 4 plumes there, and they all look relatively the same length, guys. I think it was all right. There's flame out. Yeah, she good. Everything's fine here. Yeah, Jim, it was just the angle. Because from this angle, dude, the SRB turned away. And the nozzle turned away from the camera, so it doesn't look like it. It's only for a second, because right now the SRB is pointed this way, and as it rotates and the nose of the SRB points towards us with this infrared camera, you're not going to see it. It'll pop up again here in a moment. Or no, it didn't even pop up. Yeah. You see the NSF camera of the VAB, the mobile launch tower is all lit up. No, that's cool though. Brendan, I got to talk to Adrian. I have not done the subject notes. Hey, FYY, what's going on? Yeah, fellas, that looked fine to me. I mean, there was some liberated, it looked like some liberated propellant, the sparky things. But I didn't see anything particularly weird there. That looked fine. Thank you, but I like it better my way. Liberated chunks of solid rocket propellant. I mean, maybe Goalie saw something that we didn't with his camera. Anyway, welcome WD-40 Raiders. How are you? We were just watching the same launch that Wade was doing over on his stream. Yeah, we were just watching it from, I'm watching it from the comfort of my office. I don't go out there and track it. I'm not as cool as WD-40 is. This launch. What is this launch? Oh, that's cool. Your camera is defocused. That's the sat that just went up on Vulcan. Oh, neat. Cool. Thank you for the coverage of all the launches. Sure. Sure. Anyway. All right, dudes. I'm just blurry in real life. Yeah. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, hey. That was a... Did WD-40 catch any chunks coming off? I don't know. He's packing down his setup right now, dude. So I mean, I could shoot him a message, but okay, only 12 hours more of the stream. Well, yeah, we got to get back up to snuff, don't we? Element, they're not bad. Yeah, they fine. So yeah, good flight from Ariane's VA-264. That was an Ariane 6.2 and Vulcan VC-4. First flight for a national security payload for Vulcan. First flight in the 4 SRB configuration for Vulcan. And that thing goes, man. It goes hard. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Unfortunately, Falcon 9 had a 24-hour scrub, and Ship 37 had a propellant line leak, from what I could tell. Can't wait for VC6. VC6 will be cool. Who called 2 out of 3? Dude, if you told me last night that Vulcan and Ariane 6 would go and Falcon would scrub, I would have been like, no. But that's what happened. It's this ticky my boss. Your stress level is high. Okay, all right. Message received. EJ, who was 5 subs since none of them scrub. Well, that was Yari. That was the bet that I made with Yari. I don't remember what I bet. I'll be honest with you. Wait, why did Falcon scrub? We don't know. They just pushed it. It's not like they started the cast and it scrubbed. When I checked next space flight, when I started the stream, it was already pushed 24 hours. The under on scrubs one. Didn't see that one coming. You bet 5 subs, but you said Falcon would go. Whatever. I don't want no scrubs. We'll just start handing out subs like
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Candy here. CS time? Counter-Strike? Counter-Strike? Glad to have you back. Thanks for the coverage. No problem, Mr. Stick Your Dick in My Balls. Yeah. You guys want to play Counter-Strike? Load up CS with the boys? Hey, Kelly, what's going on? Quick Hearts of Iron 4. That's not... Quick. There's no quick in Hearts of Iron. That's not a thing. No games tonight. What about MSC? MSC's tomorrow. No. I'm not playing this game. I'm not promising anything, all right? All right? My stress levels in real life hit peak last week. And I'm not... No. ARJ is right. ARJ is right. I will see you guys all tomorrow for Space News. And we'll go from there, okay? Thanks for the gifted sub. Oh, yeah, no problem. I'll think about it, 95. So normal start time. I want to finish what I'm working on with the blue truck, Shaw. So we'll just do Space News tomorrow. Yeah. Ship 37 testing is going to happen. So, yeah, we'll go from there. Plan, not promise. Yep. One day we'll get a full day of MSC. Don't, see, Kragan, don't do that. Don't do that, man. Okay? So, we got a rundown on the Bluefus work. I will keep you guys in the loop of everything that is going on, okay? Yeah, absolutely. Yes. We're, yeah, Bluefus is nice. It's gonna be good. All right. So, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll start up Space News around 4 or 5 o'clock, probably more closer to 5. And yeah, just if I'm good to go, we'll play some Summer Car, okay? I should be, but we'll see. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you guys all tomorrow. Once again, let me get back in the groove, and we'll go from there. Last week was very rough. I gotta get back into it. You don't just go from like doing nothing to 50 hours a week streams. We'll roll back into it. We'll get more overtime. I'll see you guys. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the coverage. Have a good night.